Hello, everybody. Welcome to 4Player Podcast. This is episode 435. My name is Nick Henderson. Brad Simons is here.
I am.
Nolan Hedstrom.
What's up, everybody?
And Christopher Guthridge.
Hey, guys.
You kind of plowed through my name. You're like Nolan Hedge and Christopher Good. Give me a chance to greet the people.
Give him a breath.
Sorry.
Well, now that we've greeted everyone, I just want to say this picture, you made this, Nick?
No, I didn't. No, I have not made the pictures.
Chris Davis does these.
Virtue's Last Reward looks like a lot of things. He picked the one thing in that game. Literally the one thing. The only thing that even looks close to Fallout.
Isn't that...
And put it next to Fallout. Everything else is like super anime looking, but you know.
That's what I'm saying. When I
the
first saw
cover?
it, I thought it was Fallout. It looks like night vision goggles on a gas mask.
It looks like the dude from on the cover of New Vegas.
New Vegas, right?
Yeah.
I could just imagine Chris Davis looking through all the pictures and screenshots going, what is this weeb shit? I ain't putting this on there. And he's like, oh, this one looks pretty cool.
Isn't that from the cover of the game, though?
No, I don't know. I don't know what the cover looks like. I downloaded it.
Dude, I'm going to look
People
up the
still
cover.
buy video. Where do we go? Oh, he's mad.
Oh, Chris Davis is mad, so he's removing us from the screen. Oh, God.
we're gone!
This is
I
horrifying.
didn't say anything.
Maybe.
Oh, my God. Oh, thank God we're back.
We're invisible. See, that's the cover of the game.
Oh, God. Before you turned the phone over, I was really
But
scared.
he could have used the bottom, not the top.
And it would have made a little more sense.
Yeah, but those just look like generic anime people.
By
Who
the way,
cares?
this
Isn't that Virtue's Last Reward?
Oh, look, they've got big eyes.
Wait, is
and they
Virtue's
look
Last
scared.
Reward even a game that got a physical release?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of it.
Well,
It's the sequel to
Well,
999. You've heard
it
of
only got
999?
released on the PS Vita,
it's
so
a
that's
DS
why.
game.
Vita game.
you
No,
have
it's
a Vita.
game.
It's a Vita game. Well, that's probably part of
In
the
fact,
problem.
they announced the new one, Virtue's Last, or it's Zero Escape 3.
I'd like to start this
something.
podcast by not talking about weird fetishes and actually talking about Thanksgiving. What are y'all doing for Thanksgiving, guys? It is Thursday. Mm-hmm. We're coming up on it. What do you got? Any plans? Any exciting plans?
No.
I'm going to go have a Thanksgiving brunch at Malia's mother's, and then we're going to hightail it over to my parents' place up at the lake, and we're going to eat Thanksgiving dinner.
Does your dad fry turkeys?
Yes.
That seems like something your dad would
Dude,
do.
I saw some really dumb
does that
looking
mean?
guy. I saw some really dumb looking guy in HEB walking around with a big fucking pot and like 5 bottles of cooking oil, and I was like, "You're gonna kill yourself." Like, you are gonna hurt
if anything,
yourself.
just completely burn his turkey.
Somebody
to a
watch
crisp.
this man. Like,
This is this man's last Thanksgiving. I can
and
tell
the
you that.
first thing that popped into my head was that thing about like most house fires being caused by people deep frying
Yeah.
turkeys.
Well, they just kind of
Wait, is
just
that a
throw
true
it
statistic?
Yeah, I don't know, something
wouldn't-
like that.
I wouldn't
or
be
maybe
surprised.
it's most house fires at like the number one
In
like
November.
homeowners insurance claim at the holidays is fire damage from people.
It's not like Christmas trees or something.
Oh, dude, you're fucking deep
Most
frying
Chris-
like if you drop a frozen turkey into a deep fryer, that's just like a bomb.
Have you ever put a spark? Have you ever put a spark next to an old Christmas tree? Dude, it goes up like fucking no one's business.
That's why. That's probably why so many Christmas trees these days are not.
New Year's 2010.
just a
I was
dead
in
tree.
Houston. I was in Houston.
It's
New Year's
dead.
2010, and there was this old neighborhood right next to mine that they completely bought everyone's houses out because it turned into a flood zone, and they were like, "Fuck it, we're going to buy everyone's houses. Everyone move out." Like maybe 15, 20 people stayed out of like 150 houses, and so it was just empty. So we would go back there and set off fireworks because fireworks aren't illegal in Houston. And we found this old Christmas tree. And so we dragged it into the street, and I shot one Roman candle at it. Within like 45 seconds, it was gone. Like just giant, like 10-foot flame
That's
for
awesome.
like 45 seconds of just like
I bet that was
craziness.
awesome, though.
It was awesome. It was.
Sounds pretty awesome. You know what else was awesome? The Renaissance Festival.
We already talked about
That
that.
was last week, Brad.
No, but I went too.
Oh, did you watch the jousting though?
Yeah, I was in Spain. He was the heel. He was real bad.
Yeah. Was Germany still John Cena?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was my first
so
question.
It
Like,
was. I found some lip balm, but I didn't know if it was the lip balm.
Wait, was the place with like giant candles and shit?
I mean, there was like a million places with giant candles.
This place has like 34 fucking jars of lip balm. Lip
No.
balm. You went to the wrong place then.
No.
It was
Well, I mean, there's
it's
so
nature's
many
craft.
places.
Well, that's the thing. At the Renaissance Festival, if no one's ever been, they have about 5 different stores, but like 30 times. Like there's like a sword store and like a fucking lotion store and all
A
this stuff.
lotion store.
Yeah, but there's like 5 of each of them.
Ye old lotions.
There's like 5 of each of them. So you turn a corner, it's like, wait, wasn't I already in this store? But it's like a completely different store, but they sell the same shit.
You know what's weird about the Renaissance
Can we
Festival?
back up to the lotion store at the Renaissance Festival?
What? People like fucking sell lotion.
Women like buying lotions and stuff.
Yeah.
They go to the Renaissance
Yeah,
Festival
but you
too.
go to like Bed Bath and Beyond. To
But
buy
this is like fucking like
lotions.
natural, like like handmade. They like rub it on their butt and shit to make it like fresh.
What?
Hey,
Now we're talking.
To make the lotion fresh?
you know
Wait,
what's weird?
before or after selling it?
What?
I don't know, both.
Do you know
Okay.
what's weird about the Texas Renaissance Festival?
What's
like
that?
no one there like seemingly works there. There's like no security.
No,
like
there's
people
not.
walking around with like swords. Like they don't check your bags on the way in.
Right, dude. Like I walked up and I was like, "Do you check my bag?" And he's like, "Do I need to?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "All right then." Like, okay.
There's just drunk people waving swords and stuff. It's
You're
crazy.
right. Everyone should have a sword. Then the good guys with the swords can stop the bad guys
Exactly.
with the swords.
If you don't bring your own real sword, you can just buy a real sword, walk around waving it around,
should make
and
it
no one
mandatory.
cares because it's the Renaissance Festival.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I've been corrected in chat. What I meant to say was Bath and Body Works, not
Okay.
Bed Bath and Beyond. Apparently, I do not know my
Wait, so Bed
bath
Bath and Beyond doesn't
stores.
sell lotion?
Not in the quantities.
I bet
that
if you
Bath
walk
and
in-
Those
Body
are
Works
big
do.
stores. I imagine they have a little bit of retail space.
I
for
bet
lotion.
you anything if you walk into a Bed Bath and Beyond, you will find some lotion.
Nolan, did you go to the Drench the Winch booth?
I did not.
So they're in this one little corner. There's like a Drench the
I
Winch,
know
and
of
then
it.
there's a tomato.
I know of
like you threw a dude out a tomato, and like they say such horrible things because they want you to like buy more things to throw at them to try to hit them or dunk them, and it's like it's horrible stuff. It's like homophobic and like
that's bad.
and like just like
They are
like
from
she
the
was
Middle
calling
Ages.
this dude like a pedophile as he was trying to throw stuff to dunk her in the water. Is it just because it's medieval or
Brad, there are no rules at the Renaissance Festival.
That's what I'm saying.
There are no like. There was this one. Did you see the pie throwing booth? Like I walked past this booth and they're like, "Hey, throw a pie at me," and I was like, "I'm good." And he's like, "I didn't ask how you were," and I was like, "Well, then I really don't want to fucking talk to you." Like they get like,
Give me that fucking pie.
you've seen like the beggar, right? There's a guy at the Renaissance Festival. I don't know if he works there, but all he does is dress up as a beggar, sit down, and yell at people until they give him money.
Yeah, I've seen that.
He's a homeless man with a job.
Do they do Renaissance fairs in other countries?
Maybe.
Do they have them in England, or is
I
that
don't know.
just what it's like there?
Yeah.
That's more of like a history thing there. Like people go and they're like, ugh.
They go there like we would go to a fucking pioneer village.
Yeah.
Like pioneer day.
It just seems like there's all these booths of like throw an axe, throw a hatchet, throw a ninja star, shoot real arrows.
Did you see any of like
throwing was a big thing back then.
Did you see any of like the anime stores and shit?
They have.
Where they have like anime swords.
I saw a
and
store
stuff.
selling a keyblades.
Yeah,
Like,
they have like 12 keyblades. It was crazy.
Brad, how many keyblades
like
did you
there's
buy?
like a furry store. I'm telling you,
yeah, there is.
There's stores that appeal to all nerdy demographics. It's real bad. There's a lot of like furry people walking around.
There's a lot of them.
Also, what does it mean when like you have someone dressed up as whatever, maybe we're some Renaissance era, but they also have like a foxtail strapped
Dude,
to
like
their belt.
half the
Are
people
they like
there had
secretly
foxtails.
furries?
Half the
I
people
don't
there
think
had
it's very
foxtails.
Those furry?
secret.
They sell foxtails there.
But I mean, are those for the furry
Dude, you
community?
know
don't
what's
know.
worse than that? When you're like out in Austin on a normal Wednesday and you see some kid walking around with a foxtail.
Brad, it's only
That kid's a furry.
Brad, they're
you
only
know.
they're only furries if the foxtail isn't clipped onto their belt. It's a butt plug,
Okay.
and the tail's attached
Okay.
to that. Then they're furries.
So-
Those
It's
are
like-
they actually.
If it's coming out from like under the pant cuff.
what? Are you saying those are a thing?
Those are a
Yeah, no, I know
definite
they are. That's why I said that.
Oh,
those
God,
exist.
do they have like ponytails?
I would probably.
Dude, why wouldn't they?
Oh my
They
God.
probably have like
I think they have
the
rabbit
whole kit
tails.
and caboodle. Like
Oh, rabbit tail.
Think
That
they have
just made me think of Senran and Kagura. Because I made the rabbit tail. Anyway. So yeah, that Renaissance Festival, you had fun though, right? It's fun. It's
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
fun.
You can get through it in like 2 hours.
I wasn't allowed to look
What
at
did
the
you eat?
elephants.
what? Why?
Why?
Because Malia found an article about the trainer
Oh,
there
yeah.
saying that there's some alleged abuse. so I wasn't even allowed to look at them.
Anywhere
Wait,
where
look at
they're
what?
because they have elephants at the
Oh
Renaissance
yeah,
Fest.
that's the elephant that drank the beer last time I was. At the
Okay, yeah, and then just stories about them not treating them very well. Brad, let me tell you something.
they were letting them
let me
drink
tell you something.
people's
But 80%
Well, he
of
probably
animals in
needed it more than
captivity
we did.
aren't treated that well,
I'm sure,
and
No,
it
I know.
sucks.
I know.
It does suck.
Maybe we should go to the Renaissance Festival and camp out there next
Maybe
time.
we should free all the animals.
No,
in
yeah,
the
a lot
zoo.
of people camp there.
Bernadette doesn't want to go. she already said
Malia's
it.
the same fucking way. I started talking to a dude who, if I started talking to somebody who was talking in character, Malia would just start walking.
That's what Bernadette would do too.
And I'd be like, baby, come over here. And she'd be like, nope.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah. That's
Anyway.
that. Jessica Jones. I'm just transitioning.
I don't think we've actually talked about Jessica Jones while the podcast has been recording,
We
so
have
that
not.
transition just didn't work at all.
Correct.
Where'd you go, chat? Okay.
So was it good?
Jessica Jones?
That was
Yeah.
a transition.
I'm about halfway through it, and I've voiced my opinions in the past about my distaste for Kristen Ritter, and I will say I'm still not a fan of her, but I will also say that this show has been her best acting. She's definitely done better than any show I've seen her in before. Now, granted, I haven't seen her entire
I've seen her
creative suite. What would it's not discography.
Repertoire.
Yeah, I haven't seen her entire
Or
acting
career.
career. Yeah, but I've seen her in a lot of things, and I've never been a fan. But I think it's not so. She's not what's keeping me watching the show. The show is keeping me. It's a good fucking show.
It's a good show.
I've been enjoying it.
The conflict in the show was way more personal than Daredevil.
Definitely.
So,
Yeah.
in that regard, I'm really enjoying it.
My-
I still think I enjoy Daredevil more, but
Yeah.
this is definitely a really great,
I think it's funny.
Bridge between
She
those.
jumps a lot in the show, but you never see her jump. You see her squat, and then you see her land.
Well, that's the thing. Like that's what I was saying before the show. It's really weird in that.
Because she's super.
I mean, we know
Yeah.
that she's a superhero because it's a Marvel show.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you could totally remove the powers from her powers because she barely uses them. Like
Correct.
maybe once an episode she'll do something like, "Oh, that's right, she's a superhero. I forgot." Like every once in a while she'll like break a lock on a door or something.
Oh my god, they use that
hand.
so many times.
Yeah.
and it's clearly the same fucking locks.
And it's basically just there to remind you,
like a trick lock, and she just beep, and it just
and it's basically just there to remind you that, oh yeah, hey, she has super strength.
yeah.
But like,
My only problem with that is a lot of times it's like a lock that's like chained onto like a door, and the door would break before the lock does.
probably.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if she had pulled from with both hands, I'd be cool with it. But she just kind of pulls from the bottom, and I don't think it would just break like that. Hold on. So this is more of a generic superhero thing, Crispy, because I'm watching like, and at one point, like a car is gonna hit her, and she like stops the car or something. Why would she not go flying? Because physics. I understand that she doesn't get hurt because she's strong.
Yeah.
But I mean, force, mass, an
Sure.
object, an object in
Doesn't
motion
knock her
stays in
back.
motion. She should move.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're going to accept the fact that she has enough mass to stop a car.
So is it about her mass? So is she heavy? Why doesn't she fall through floors?
She's not having a power man when they bang.
Okay, first of all, Nolan,
This is a legitimate question.
it's
I'm
a
not trying to
legitimate
be a
question.
dick.
It's a legitimate question. But these are also the kinds of things that they just don't want the audience asking.
No,
because there's
you
really
you do have to wonder though, what is exactly the nature of her super strength? Is she just like built heavier than
Dude, the
most
same
people?
thing could be said of
Because
Peter
if she was,
Parker
if she
or-
was super strong and her strength were just like normal human strength, wouldn't that just mean she'd have to have a shit ton of muscles? Wouldn't
Well,
she
so
be
hold
like
on,
super
hold on,
buff?
yeah. And
So
this
perhaps
is what
her
I'm talking
strength
about.
Is something different.
So this is what I'm talking about. I'm
Super
not
Saiyan
talking about
strength.
necessarily Jessica Jones. I'm talking about in general. Any kind of like thing.
Mm-hmm.
In
The Hulk.
Peter Parker, like the Hulk, whatever. In Avengers, when Hulk stops that thing, like the ground below him is like crunching and breaking because physics. It makes sense.
Sure.
He's being pushed back and he's trying to push back, and so the ground's crumbling below him, but he's still whatever. So, that's my question: is like, has this ever been explained? Like, so, like, say, like a guy, say, I don't know, Andre the Giant, whatever, someone big in real life, like a big actual real life person, whatever, half floor Thorson, whatever, the fucking mountain from Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
That guy, I can't pronounce
Which
his name.
one?
Yeah,
Gregor
and, yes.
Clegane?
Yes. What if he were to walk up and like punch Jessica Jones? would she move? She doesn't weigh 300 pounds. She weighs like what, 120? Could he not pick her up and throw her?
No, but what I'm saying is perhaps her strength is more like an ability to manipulate her mass temporarily. Right?
Y'all concerned.
What are we talking about? Let's just move on.
No, think about this. You're asking like
Oh my
if the
God.
car hit her, why doesn't it break the ground below her? Well, if you built a fucking wall in the middle of the road and you drove a car into it, you wouldn't expect the ground beneath the wall to break when it absorbed that shock.
Here's the
But
fucking question.
But that's what I'm saying is, if it's fucking what's the term I'm looking for? Like her center of gravity. Like if she's doing this and a car hits her, like she has to have some sort of opposite force to keep herself from going
All
back.
right.
Yeah.
Y'all officially concern yourselves with the weirdest things. On
No,
the, on,
I'm
when
not
you're in-
trying
when
to,
you're-
like,
when you're
discount the
taking
show.
in wait,
I'm not trying to. I'm just talking in general. How has this ever been explained?
no, I don't think they care at all to explain it.
What's
No,
up?
not really.
I just want to know what Jagger's talking about. Here's a question. Why doesn't she get one of them Magneto helmets? That would like solve all her fucking problems.
No, it would. Why didn't she just wear earplugs?
Wait,
I guess that would
Magneto helmets.
Though-
What are you
though-
talking?
to block the
kill-
fucking purple man.
Kilgrave.
I know, but I don't think it's magnetic. Okay.
No, Magneto's
Magneto
helmet
used the
specifically
helmet. Stops
exists.
telepathy.
Yeah.
Kilgrave
block
isn't
that
using necessarily telepathy. He tells someone to do something and they do it.
He just has the power of
I'm
suggestion.
sure the
that's
Juggernaut
but that's
helmet
what
would
I'm
block
saying.
it.
if you hear his voice, he's affected.
But that's what I'm saying. Why don't you just get some really good noise canceling headphones?
guys. Fuck all of you.
I thought his
For-
thing had to do with like his eyes.
No,
That's what I
not
thought.
the show. The show implies that if you can hear his voice, if you are within a certain distance of him and you hear his voice, you are under his.
Yeah.
I could
Control.
be completely wrong.
I thought it was a brain thing.
No,
Because
the way at least the way
wasn't
the
she
show's
trying to stop
explained.
his
I'm
brain?
not the biggest Jessica Jones fan. I know all of what I've seen in the show so
Oh,
far.
it's pheromones.
What? Really?
Yeah, chemical pheromones. So if you
That's why you
if
have to
you
be within
absorb it
range.
through your skin or you inhale it, he can control you.
Oh, can Luke Cage block it? I guess I'm not that far yet.
What?
Guys,
No,
Because his skin is like super.
That's the way he was.
His
in the
mouth
comics.
isn't super. Like if he
Well,
breathes
he
it
keeps his
in.
mouth closed. What are we even talking
guys,
about?
y'all are the worst.
But it only lasts as long as he's physically present and somehow keyed to his voice and speech pattern.
Well, they said it
You know what's
lasts
funny?
about 10 hours after.
You know what I would also say though? That's probably not the case for the show. That's probably just for the comics because they are not even bothering one moment
But
to
hold
explain
on.
how his powers work.
Hey, Mike.
Back to my question. I'm being serious. I'm not trying to be a goof. I'm saying, so someone super, Jessica Jones, whoever you want to say, super powerful, right? They can punch through a wall. Fine. Does it not seem? I don't know. That's just my. I'm honestly genuinely
there-
curious.
Well, if you're talking about punching through a wall, couldn't their arm absorb that? Like, if their body can't absorb the negative effect of the punch or the opposite force of the punch, that's when it would transfer to the ground below them, right?
Okay.
But if they could,
Guys,
if their
I
body
can't.
could
Guys,
absorb
We're
guys,
debating
I
the
can't-
nature of
I can't-
superhuman strength.
I can't handle
which
this
clearly
conversation.
isn't
Let's
based
talk
on
about
physical
video
muscles
games.
all the time.
Okay.
Video games.
But it hasn't been a conversation. It's been me asking questions and no one answering
I don't
them.
know. Maybe we should have a popcorn cast for Jessica Jones.
It's not about Jessica Jones. It's about video games.
You're
Fine.
asking questions
Any
that-
video game where there's someone with superpowers.
You were
That's what I'm
asking questions
genuinely
that-
Maybe her
curious about.
ability is magical like the Joker.
You were asking questions that I'm pretty sure any content creator, any fictional content creator, just doesn't care to answer. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's been explained.
I'm sure
anywhere.
it's been answered. And if Crispy knew the answer, he would say it, but we don't know.
Okay. Well, that was my. I'm honestly just genuinely curious.
I was kind of trying to explain.
I kind of want to understand the physics of them banging out. I mean, like, is it harder to
Banging
get
out?
her off? Well, I mean, her and Luke Cage.
All right.
What? No. Why would it be?
Well, they seem
my
they
God,
seem
guys,
to enjoy it more.
You think
Because
I think they
they're
were just enjoying it because they had never done it,
Dude, they're
with a
You'd think it'd be
superhero.
more
before.
But I'm
difficult
saying,
for
do you think
Luke
she
Cage
fakes
to get
it?
off because his whole thing is he has like indestructible skin.
Yeah.
So
like
are
wearing
his
8
nerve
condoms.
endings under his skin affected by that?
Well, that's a question of does he still have nerve endings that he can feel?
Yeah.
There's a difference between feeling something and being able to damage your skin. I mean, I can do this. You can feel it. It doesn't damage
Well,
your skin.
I don't know.
though.
I mean, if his skin is so like unbreakable, is that an effect of like
maybe
have more
that's
crispy,
question
density than-
that Crispy lives
maybe
to
maybe
find
there's an
answers for.
energy force field around his
Maybe.
skin.
Dude, this is comic books. Don't act like that, okay? You say that your favorite superhero is the Flash, and he is like crazy. Like, he takes physics textbooks and just punches holes through them. Like,
No, that is
fucking
true.
ridiculous.
That is true. But no, that's what I'm saying. But in the Flash, he gets thrown around a lot.
Yeah, but, you know.
Y'all
The
are,
truth is, we have
He
no video
also
games to talk
runs
about
so
this
fast
week.
that he travels back in time.
guys,
I know.
y'all are the absolute worst.
But that's the Speed Force.
for the love of God.
That's the Speed Force.
For
Which
the
is an
love of
alternate
God.
dimension composed entirely of energy.
The show has officially gone off the rails.
Okay.
I don't
Video games.
even know. No,
Let's talk about all the new video games we've
Can
So-
One
so
Punch
this-
Man one punch the Hulk?
So this weekend, I was playing video games, but I also did some car maintenance, some mechanicness.
I thought we were not the video games.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Cars.
So last week, Bernadette was driving home from work, and there was construction, and they had not cones. What are those, like, pylon, like, kind of fucking big cylinder things? What would you call that?
pillars.
You know what I'm talking about? Like
Yeah.
the 50-gallon drum
Yeah.
things that they have. They had them kind of making people veer off, but you have to physically get on the shoulder to not hit them. And apparently, like, she hit one of them with her side mirror, and it didn't. She didn't. Like, when she called me, I thought she was saying, like, the side mirror's gone. But she showed up at the house, and I'm like, it's still. She just, like, the mirror was broken, and then the case around it was broken. And so I looked at it, and I was like, she's like, do I need to call insurance? I was like, it's not, your deductible is going to be lower than the cost of fixing this, or higher, but whatever. And so I had her go to Toyota and get like a quote, and they said $350 to replace the mirror. $350.
So you just
And I was
taped
like,
the mirror
what the
on.
fuck? Yeah, I was like, just taped a mirror on the side. No, so I went on Amazon.
don't need a mirror.
I went on Amazon, and I found a side mirror for $40. And
You already
then-
get it?
Yeah, and I had to buy paint because it wasn't painted, and so I bought the thing. I put it on. The difficult thing is you have to actually remove the door panel so you can attach the power cable because it's a powered mirror.
Yeah.
And I put it on, and then I spray painted. There's like a paint that comes in that is the same color that matches the car. They sell it. It's like official, like same
Yeah.
color, and so I painted it, and then I'm still letting it cure for like 48 hours before attaching it. But yeah,
So the moral of the story is you saved like $250.
yeah,
Nice.
and I did it myself. I was like, maybe I should
Good job.
record this, and then I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna do it.
That fucking reminds me.
What?
Record.
If
We're supposed to do a thing before the podcast.
What?
Yo, we're doing things up until like 10 minutes.
We were
before
supposed to
went
do
live.
something.
We're supposed to record something.
We were.
Yeah.
Oh my god, guys, this is the worst podcast ever.
What year? It's a 2012
Let's just cancel the
Corolla.
podcast.
Yeah.
Let's go home, guys. It's
Let's cancel the
Thanksgiving.
podcast and just sit around and talk about Fallout. Oh, wait. That's what we do. I've been playing more Rise of the Tomb Raider.
How was...
Did you finish it?
No, I didn't quite finish it.
I finished it.
I know Nick finished it.
I finished it.
You liked it?
So, did she...
Nick Henderson did.
Wait, why'd you just? I think it's the first time ever you've referred to me as Nick Henderson.
Nick, I know, but that got your attention.
Brad.
Yeah, it did.
Nick finished it. I guess I'm pretty close. It's hard. It's really hard to tell.
You're close, dude. I'm telling you, that game is not super long.
Well, I mean, that's relative. I mean, I guess it's pretty long
So is this
for a Tomb Raider game.
is this footage that we're watching the stuff you recorded?
No.
What?
What? You were supposed to run my footage. It was sitting right next to the folder.
Damn it, Chris Davis.
Did you tell him
I was
that?
about to say that looks way better than I was expecting for the 360 version.
Did you tell him you were supposed to do that, Brad? Because
That's where I always put my footage.
That bow looks pretty
Brad,
sweet.
how about you always put your footage in the folder that's with the name of the podcast?
Well, one of the things we're going to talk about is how the 360 version looks like butt, but... Oh, well.
I mean, duh.
well, I mean, yeah.
Right?
But it was going to show where I was in the game, and we were going to figure out how far I am.
But Brad, that logic is like going to class and turning in homework, but just like leaving it on your desk and expecting the teacher to get it,
You did.
and then getting upset when you don't get a grade.
Well, I mean, I thought he was there.
Brad, you realize
And
there's like
headshot.
hundreds of icons on your desktop.
No,
Okay,
I mean,
I have a Tomb Raider related question, and by Tomb Raider I mean the 2012 Tomb Raider.
The
related
reboot.
Question. Yes.
The original reboot.
Slight spoiler warning. So give everyone a second. Okay. At the end of that game,
When she dies?
when she dies, Doesn't she get her fucking...
Yes.
Yeah, she does.
Yes.
Like, as
So
far as
wasn't
I'm...
the implication that in the next game she
No,
would have her...
Didn't
Dude,
imply that.
the
fucking gun?
biggest
But,
mystery-
I mean, isn't that kind of like, oh, she's the Tomb
They're not
Raider
in the
now,
game at
she's
all.
got her guns.
All right,
They're not in the game at all.
Dude,
What's up with that? What's
don't
up
know.
with that?
the biggest mystery about this particular game for me is that it's called Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I thought was the concept of the last Tomb Raider game.
Yeah.
It's not even the concept of this one. It's just called that.
This is just more Tomb Raider.
She doesn't even rise. She just fucking
she's
goes
going
on
up
an
right
adventure.
there.
There really is nothing about this game that separates her from the last that makes you that it kind of explains why they called it Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I feel like there's not even really much growth as far as her character. I mean, it's just.
I mean, the only difference here is that
stuff happens to her.
she's way more comfortable killing people.
Yeah. Which is weird. I don't know. Like, I got it, like, so. When I stealth killed the dude earlier in the game, she would choke him out with her bow. And now that I got the upgrade, it says, oh, you can stealth kill faster. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's useful. Now she just, like, stabbed these dudes in the face. I'm like, I guess that is faster, but that's way more fucked up. I didn't know I was investing a skill point in horror.
That's kind of like the same way the first game goes, that she's so scared to kill someone, and then the next scene you're just fucking shooting everyone in the face.
Okay.
This game still has those problems. It's
This
the
game
dissonance.
is this game is not so so I really liked the reboot, and this game I like too, but not it's not nearly as impactful for me because there really is no step forward here.
Yeah,
Really.
sorta. I mean, there are
She's
some
stepping forward right there.
there are some incremental improvements in various systems, and I guess that's it.
But there's nothing like I didn't walk away from this experience thinking
What the fuck is that?
that's like a
saber-tooth
puma
tiger?
or
Ah!
it's a big cat. I don't remember.
It looks like a bobcat that's like 10
Oh
times too
my
big.
god.
Yeah, so
Oh, poor kid.
I ended up walking away from this just kind of underwhelmed. Not because
It's good though.
It's good.
It's real good.
It's real good, but at the same time,
It's not what you expected.
I was expecting this to be a slow. I was expecting this franchise as it developed to be more like a slow build up to the Lara that we know from classic Tomb Raider, maybe. And it's to me it just screams like
Does she find a crate at the end of this game with like a green tank top in it?
no, like
you do get an outfit that is
That is
the
original
colors
lore.
of her classic outfit.
It seems like with the reboot they took like 10 steps back in terms of tomb raiding, and then in this game they took like a sidestep.
maybe just
They
like
took
one
a
step
t-
forward.
yeah.
Like a half step.
There is some stuff better here. I think the
They cha-cha a little bit.
exploration
The tombs
feels
that-
a little more open ended. Like the Metroidy stuff, you'll stumble into stuff that like, oh, I can get through here now.
Man,
I think that's a little bit better than the first game.
Except for the fact.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean, you brought up the stumbling across tombs and not, the Metroidvania aspect of it, but like they give you the option, like the way the game progresses from the character. I always felt like I was doing something and then I was unlocking something because the game wanted me to unlock this thing now.
Yeah.
Like I would get an ability or a new weapon because that's where they decided they put it in the
It's
game,
time
so
to
you would
get it.
yeah,
Kinda
you would get
linear
it. They wanted you to get it at this point. There was no fluidity to.
That was a bad jump.
Yeah, way to fuck it up. There was no fluidity to the progression of the game. Like I got this bow or this weapon right when they wanted me to, and like suddenly I was like, oh, okay, I guess now I can go back and get into that tomb that I found earlier that I couldn't get into. Which was just annoying. There's like 4 tombs that I found throughout the game where I was like, oh great, I found a tomb, and it was like you don't have the right equipment to get into this tomb.
Yeah.
Which was really frustrating.
It
'Cause it's not an
makes it
open
feel
world game.
a lot less organic than it should.
The game is an open world, so it's not like, oh, I got the rebreather. Now let me go back and find it. I have to fast travel to that place.
Yeah.
And like it's kind of a weird. I don't know.
So I feel similar to this game, kind of how I felt to Arkham Knight, where it has a lot of the cool stuff that made that last game kind of cool, but just doing it again, even though there are small improvements here and there, like Nick was saying, makes it kind of underwhelming, but there are still games that don't do a lot of this stuff or don't do some of this stuff as well as this game does. And I do think that makes it like still this really fun game that I would recommend this game to anyone. It's not. I mean, it's the same way with Arkham Knight. It's the way we can kind of be a little disappointed about that game, but at the same time, you really step back. You're like, man, something like. I mean, there's a lot of games that aren't like this anymore that have like puzzles and exploration and shit. I mean, like this game and like fucking the Batman games are keeping Metroid stuff alive in like 3D AAA games. Everything else is like fucking indie Kickstarter games doing Metroid stuff. So I'm glad that shit's in here because you just can't find it anymore.
But what's dumb, or not dumb, sorry, what's weird is that while they're releasing this, at the same time they're releasing things like Lara Croft Go, which is very clearly classic Lara.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it makes you think. I was fully expecting, okay, this is going to be another step towards classic Lara, like the last time she got her guns. And then I was like, wait, she didn't have her guns this time? What the hell's up with that? And then I thought, but in this game, maybe she'd have something else or there'd be some kind of step forward to make it feel more like classic Tomb Raider. I was fully expecting this series to be a slow transition to classic Tomb Raider.
It's really
she could
more
have
of the
found
same,
those
though.
Janis Joplin glasses she always used to wear.
Yeah, dude.
Or like a hair tie and put her hair in the big fucking ponytail.
Something.
What if all of her upgrades were just classic Laura features? It's like she opens a box and finds her little short shorts, and now she can like run faster and like kick higher.
Is that
and
how
stuff.
short shorts work?
I don't know, maybe.
No, it gives you more motion, more movability.
She finds a green tank top and she can like stealth in the foliage better now.
In the poison ivy?
Yeah. Which, unfortunately, her tank top doesn't cover much of her, so she gets poison ivy all over her.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll say this, like, her little grappling hook thing is fucking cool. And it's cool in a way that is different than other games, where it doesn't feel like so automatic. Like, there are points where you're supposed to use it, but you can kind of just use it to get up to a ledge if you, like, say, fuck up a jump, or if you're just sort of navigating the world when you're, like, backtracking a little bit. It's just, like, a nice little tool that kind of more organically just helps you get around or gets you around a little quicker without it being so designed to be used in exactly that way. Does that make any sense? I feel that a lot about the mechanics in this game where when I'm like say jumping onto like a zip line thing and I'm jumping off of another zip line, I'm doing it just because I feel like those mechanics are well designed, while in another game you'd have to be like right on, or it's just so scripted you can't even fail. You know what I mean? But in this game it feels just like well-designed mechanics that can kind of more organically merge together. And I think that makes the platforming a little bit better than what it is in a lot of other modern games that have this style of climbing around, like an Uncharted, for example. I think it's way better here. Even if, we kind of saw a lot of that in the last game. But again, that grappling hook is kind of cool.
But it's been a while since I played the 2012 version of Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, rather. But I'm not a big fan of this style of moving around the environment. Those fucking like white bars that's clearly go this way. Like I just really don't like that.
It took a while for Uncharted to get comfortable enough to kind of tone those down.
No, and it did. I agree. Like the first ones were very obvious, and by the third one comes around, it's much, and you can still see where you're supposed to go.
Subtle.
But it's kind of the rocks that are sticking out. It's not fucking like a white bar that's like clearly
like literally everything in
this
this game that you can climb on is white.
Yeah, and so that's really frustrating for me because it's like, do the developers really think people are that dumb? Or are people that dumb?
Well, okay.
They
This may
definitely
be,
think so.
They're
I may
impatient.
I may be reaching a little bit here, but I will say, in connection to what you just asked, like there is a part of me that fully thinks that they are totally pandering to the lowest common denominator with the series.
But you know what would be really easy to do is just maybe like have the ability to just turn those off and just have it.
She has a gun.
Like what? What, Brad? What do you
One
mean?
gun.
The reason they have
one?
that stuff, the reason they have the colored panels is because there's too much physical environment that looks like you would be able to like grab onto and mantle on, but you can't.
See,
So they have to designate the ones that you can with the white stuff.
See, the solution-
as opposed to the classic games where everything was just so physically designed that they didn't have to do that because everything that looked like you can grab on, you could. But games aren't made that way.
The next
they're made to
logical
look
step,
cool.
like if they really wanted to take this to the next step, they should make everything in the environment actually climbable.
Yeah, which is kind of how it was in the
Well,
classic ones.
that's how like Uncharted is to an extent. Is anything you can climb on, you can like. There's not a whole lot that you can't reach that looks like you can reach. You know what I'm saying? Like usually there's kind of one path you can take, and it's very obvious where you're supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? Like it'll have like the kind of rock formations that are a little bit different texture than other things. You know, as opposed to this where it's like there was clearly like a bar sticking out. Like why couldn't that just been brown? Like the rest of the environment.
Because they are worried about people giving up without like
I don't know. I wish it was so simple as to maybe have two different textures for that thing, easy mode and not obvious.
I mean, the reason Tomb Raider,
You would have too many people jumping on invisible walls. If you
But
did
that's
that.
what I'm saying. Have it on by default, but give me the option to maybe turn that off and like have it be
Sure.
like brown. So I just want to be more immersed. When I'm playing a game, I like to be immersed, and stuff like that just really brings me out of it.
Like the reason Tomb Raider as a franchise doesn't have the only reason they've made it it's become a AAA franchise again is because they have done these things to make it more appealing to as big an audience as humanly possible. They've added fucking Call of Duty style, maybe not Call of Duty, but you know, lots and lots and lots of third-person shooting. Maybe Gears of War is a better comparison. They've only subtly and slowly injected more exploration into the game. They had to basically get people excited about the franchise by making it everything interacted with by shooting.
What Faust said, that I completely forgot that Mirror's Edge had that mode where when it was on, anything you could run or free run on was red.
Yeah.
But you could turn that off.
Yeah, and you can do that in the new Mirror's Edge too, which is great.
And that's what I'm talking about. They give you the ability to kind of have it on, I don't want to say easy mode, but kind of more obvious or more immersive.
Also, one thing they did with the new Mirror's Edge is that it's dynamic now, so the environment's entirely white, but as you approach things, they turn red.
I see.
So like you have to make split-second decisions.
But that's just what I'm talking about. And it comes down to kind of what Kris was mentioning is people being lazy and people not wanting to spend time. You know, they have very short attention spans.
Which is weird because this game is very, very linear.
I know, but then like, you know, how often do you see a game nowadays where you're climbing on something and you're going where there's like a dead end where you went the wrong way and you have to backtrack? Like how often do you see that anymore? It's almost like non-existent.
It actually happened to me a couple times in this game, but you know, it's pretty rare.
Maybe something like a Souls game or something. I don't know. I'm just saying these games are not designed with the building blocks to make like non-highlighted points functional. It's just they're just not designed that way. Like those classic Tomb Raiders were almost designed like fucking Minecraft. Everything was very kind of block based or whatnot.
What was the game? What was the game that came out recently? So there was the first game, which was God, what the fuck was it? There was a game that came out, it was AAA, it was really popular, and then the second one came out, also very popular, but then it suddenly dropped off the map. Like they just decided to no longer continue the series because poor sales or something.
I mean that happens a lot.
Yeah, I know. That's probably a really vague description.
But Brett, going on to your everything, it seems like it's jumpable, and like Uncharted. When you're doing your exploration on walls and stuff, is there something that looks like you can jump to but you can't? The game just won't let you jump that way.
I know, but see, I don't like that.
Really?
I like when the mechanics and the world are so like designed like in a free-form manner. Like the building blocks and mechanics are almost they're designed with each other in mind, but they're not designed around each other.
So you'd rather have a white
like,
bar
think
than have an
Minecraft.
invisible wall.
No, I'd rather have no invisible walls at all
and no white bars.
and no white bars.
That's what I would like too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I would prefer an invisible wall to a white bar.
Yeah.
Which one would you prefer, Brad?
Darksiders is what I was thinking of.
You're the one on the stand here, Brad.
I mean,
I'll ask
I
the
don't like
questions.
either. I don't.
I agree. I'm
know.
saying I don't like either. I'm just saying.
Here's the real fact of the matter is that we're spending time talking about this when the real focus of this game is still 90%
Yeah, I
combat. Like,
No,
this
it's
is a
not.
fucking third-person shooter, dude.
No,
Which
this
is
game seems
weird.
like it has less combat than the last game.
Because she doesn't have her
Proportional.
guns.
To
I would...
like if you really spend a lot of time in those environments, kind of hunting down those collectibles.
Let me tell
you're
you,
gonna
Brad,
spend way more time.
Just wait till the very end of the game, Brad.
I mean, I've been doing a lot of combat, but I get through combat real quick.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you, like, when I pull back and I think about Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider as an experience, and even the last Tomb Raider game, this game is like, I'd say like 70-30 combat exploration.
I completely disagree. Because if you spend the time actually exploring the environments, if you were to collect everything,
Dude, I did 78% of this game.
What the fuck?
no, but what I'm
that
saying
guy?
is, when you're out in the world looking for shit, how often do you stumble into encounters?
Dude, but those moments are so few and far between. There are
Inhabiting an environment looking for stuff?
dude, there's only like 3 or 4 like hub areas in the game.
But there's so much to find.
Dude,
There's 185 audio logs.
yes, Brad, but you even you said it yourself. Like, you aren't having any fun
looked
finding
like-
those things, except for the optional tombs.
She shot someone in the face and all of his clothes fell off.
If you spend time in the environments to only find the tombs, you're right. You're not going to spend too much time in
Dude,
the environments.
but you're
there's
not-
a lot of
Dude,
stuff there.
I found way more than just the optional tombs. Like I said, I completed about 78% of this entire game. That's including all, like, story, optional tombs, finding treasures at the environments. I did all but 22% of the fucking game. So, and I'm telling you, like,
Well,
I
that
feel like the game.
22% was exploration.
Well,
I'm playing devil's
I'm
advocate.
gonna kill you, Nolan.
I'm just.
what I'm saying, Nick, is what difficulty did you play with?
Normal.
Okay, I got through combat encounters pretty fast, and I was back in those environments.
You were the
Kinda-
last person in the world I was expected to defend this aspect of the game.
Well, I mean, I'm
because
saying I feel
this
like the
game is-
ratio is better in this game than it was in the last one.
Not by much.
Maybe.
I would say maybe yes, but in the grand scheme of things, you're still shooting a lot of fucking dudes. To the point where this is not a Tomb Raider, like classic Tomb Raider game, because you spend a ridiculously disproportionate amount of time shooting dudes versus raiding tombs.
Well,
She doesn't have her guns.
And the
I'm not-
optional and the actual good tomb raiding in the game is almost all optional.
I'm just gonna say that I'm not qualified to voice my opinion on this because I haven't played this game. So
She can do Assassin's Creed shit.
yeah.
I mean, if you're talking about like just strictly tomb raiding versus combat, you're right. There's way
Not
more
to mention
combat.
the only
but I'm talking
the only tier that I maxed out, like I got all the abilities for, was the combat tier. Because that's what I was using the most.
By the way, the skills in this game, I mean, there's some ones that are kind of cool, but like this skill tree and kind of the rate at which you like unlock skills, it's just so like lazily done. It's like, oh, I got a skill point. Oh, I guess I'll take that one. You know, it's not. It's like, think about that versus Fallout, where like every decision is like matters. You know, in this game, it's like, oh, sometimes I'm annoyed that I have a skill point just because I have to go in there and like the menu's a little too sluggish, and I'm like, fine. Here's a skill. I guess I'll take this one. Like in most games, I'm like, should I take this one or this one? Usually, I'll scroll through them, and the first one that sounds kind of interesting, I'll just take it without even looking at the others. I wish if this series goes forward, I hope Crystal Dynamics spends a little more time in kind of, you know, the RPG elements. Like they can be a little deeper. Don't be afraid to get deeper with that stuff. You know.
And I agree with you, but
But,
isn't
like-
that exactly what we said the last time this game came out? And I don't feel
Yeah,
like they
no,
really
it
learned
is.
much of anything
well, I
about
mean,
it.
most of the time we said like.
And
way
don't get me
more
wrong,
puzzles
I'm
and
not
stuff.
trying to be ultra negative in this game because I actually really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
As did I.
But I mean,
Or do I?
but to me, I enjoyed it because I think it's a really competent third-person shooter with some actual,
Yeah.
some good puzzles here and there. But like, I still look at this game as a third-person shooter, first and foremost. But I'll tell you this: some of those optional tombs are pretty damn good.
But you enjoyed it.
Some
Though.
of them.
Yeah, it's a great game. And those tombs, there was a solid, like, I say about half of those tombs actually stumped me for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, they're all like pretty
They're all
much
single puzzle things, though.
yeah,
It's so
like all the
frustrating.
tombs are literally like big open spaces that have like one like puzzle, like portal-esque style. It's like, think of each puzzle or each tomb as like a single challenge room in Portal, like a challenge,
spatial reasoning
yeah,
puzzle?
like a challenging one.
Yeah.
Like each tomb is one of
Some
those.
of those portal rooms get
What
pretty-
if in this
pretty
game
rough.
every time you went into a tomb It was like a Lara Croft Go puzzle.
Or it's like a level from the original.
You know what? This is funny because I'm thinking we're getting towards the end of the year. I'm starting to think about the games that I played, and I'm looking back on it, and like Lara Croft Go, I think, is the more enjoyable Tomb Raider experience this year.
You know what? I think I really enjoyed this game as well, and I kind of enjoyed 2013 as well. But I mean, I think Crystal Dynamics has done better Tomb Raider games with like Underworld and Anniversary. Mm-hmm. Like I think those are more fun games than these games.
God, for a second you said Underworld, and for a second my brain thought Angel of Darkness for a second. I was like, ugh!
I'm going to say this though, Nick. I think that this has a lot of third-person shooting, but I would recommend this game, and I'd recommend it more in the vein of something like a Batman game. Yeah. Than say like The Order, which I'd say is like a third-person shooter, more strictly third-person shooter. I say closer to Batman than Gears of War.
I would not disagree with you on that entirely.
So this is going to come out on PC and this is going to come out on PS4, and
I'll tell you what,
if they don't
time the release on the PS4 better, this is the last Tomb Raider game.
No, it's not the last Tomb Raider game. It might be the last one from Crystal Dynamics. It might be the last one for a while. But I mean, it's a classic IP, and it sells on.
We live in an age where like developers will develop like a AAA platform, or a AAA title or a franchise, and suddenly they become the developer that does that series, and that's kind of what they do.
Yeah.
And I think up until this point, it was assumed that Crystal Dynamics just kind of established themselves as the Tomb Raider developers, and this was the face of Tomb Raider now. Mm-hmm. If the PS4 isn't timed properly and doesn't perform better than this, because they just fucked up the release of this because of Fallout and so many other things, I could see them shelving Tomb Raider again for another 4 or 5 years and then rebooting it entirely again.
Well, yeah.
Because
maybe
what I'm
in
saying
4 or 5 years they'll get something that's more closely similar to the original Tomb Raider.
Sure, but what I'm saying is
those. That's the thing, and those weren't as successful. That's why it's hard to expect Crystal Dynamics to do that.
I mean, I had a conversation with Jeff about this on Twitter.
Wait, how do you do that?
Because Jeff,
how do you sprint while crouching?
You hold the same way you sprint while not crouching.
Oh my god, I had no idea.
Was it a perk?
Oh wait, you can't even crouch. You just automatically crouch when people are around.
So I had this conversation with Jeff on Twitter, and because he really enjoyed the game too, and eventually boiled down to the question of he was like, well, I just don't think audiences today are going to enjoy a Tomb raiding focused game. That's why it has so much shooting. And I was like, bullshit, dude,
to an extent,
when you look at the last Tomb Raider,
that's kind of true.
Dude, they sold like 6 million copies of the last Tomb Raider game, and they still considered it a failure. I guarantee you, if they made another Tomb Raider game, if the next Tomb Raider game in this franchise was more like classic Tomb Raider, I think the only reason it would be anywhere near successful is because people would buy it purely because they played these two and they expected more of this. I think if when the reboot came out, it was more like classic Tomb Raider, I don't think it would have performed nearly as well. I just think it's a sad thing, but audiences today, especially the younger crowd, just don't. I'm not trying to lump them all into the same group, but
a lot of them don't. Generalizing over there.
I don't think
a lot of people want to play this because it reminds me.
I've had enough of your hate speech.
I don't think this has to be a quote unquote third person shooter to be successful.
No,
I think if they developed the RPG elements better and started calling it an RPG that had a lot of puzzle solving it, people would still be excited.
I'm talking
to play
about
this game.
eyes being successful in the eyes of Microsoft based on their budget, because they're giving this.
RPGs
they're giving this.
Sell.
Sure, but. Not a lot of RPGs sell 6 million copies.
But Dude Bros want to shoot things, Brad. And Dude Bros buy a lot
and not
of
to mention,
games,
they are a harder sell.
They have shooters.
They are a harder sell than a third-person shooter.
I mean, you're gonna find that Fallout. Well, I know Fallout has guns, but let's say Skyrim, sells just as much as Call of Duty. Man, it's crazy. Or if you look at like The Witcher and Bloodborne, those were very successful fucking games. And if anything, you could look at the Souls games for as proof that a kind of design that is not necessarily. There's all these fucking myths and assumptions about what will sell.
But here's my question:
people will play hard games.
Dark Souls became the phenomenon that it is because it came out. And it spread, and it was such a different experience. When it came out, it didn't sell 6 million copies in the first week, I'm sure.
No, it didn't.
The first Dark
Souls,
or month.
No. It is a snowball effect for Dark Souls because of word of mouth and because it was such a different experience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying people will buy a certain type of game just because.
You know what Dark Souls has that this doesn't? or vice
Souls?
versa. No, I was
Sword?
gonna
A
say,
Soul?
segue?
doesn't have lines.
Oh,
Is
white
that
lines.
just going back to the line thing?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hey, when we talk about the Souls games, I feel like you could find more DNA of classic Tomb Raider in the Souls games than you could any of these other
Probably.
fucking Tomb Raider wannabes or Uncharted or anything.
Dark Souls is a
and I
good
use that
game.
as proof for why you can have like kind of open-ended, subversive like game design. What? Of course
I
it
like
is.
Dark Souls.
Yeah, I know. We all do.
I'm just saying. I do.
Okay.
Wait.
But that's my point. You can make a game that is more like that and have it still be successful, especially when it already has this big franchise name attached to it. You know.
All right.
I think a lot of people in chat are assuming that I am saying that I'm underestimating audiences, or that I think developers are underestimating audiences. I think when you look at it in terms from what publishers expect to sell, like they're looking at it purely from a
I don't think it's developers so much as it is publishers.
They're looking at it from a business
wanting
standpoint.
developers to make a game that is as acceptable to as wide
They want
of
the
an audience as
guaranteed
possible.
hit. They want the guaranteed hit. And not saying that Tomb Raider can't be rebooted as a classic Tomb Raider game and be successful, but I think it would have to be like a snowball effect. And a publisher is always going to take the game that's the guaranteed sell.
Wow.
That's going to sell 6 million copies in a month.
Biggest thing in the world is Candy Crush, and you know what? Puzzles. Boom.
Yeah, but you know
Boom.
what? Candy Crush is
People
also
like solving puzzles. Boom.
Candy
You're right,
Crush
they
is
should put
also
Candy
an
Crush
example of a game that sold
in Tomb
with the
Raider.
snowball effect.
If she had to solve like jewel rearranging puzzles to open tomb
You fucking
doors,
she has before, and that shit's cool.
Dude, if she had
Tomb Raider
like an
Bejeweled.
attaché case
but you
straight out
only
of
have
Resident Evil
3
4,
attempts, and then if you don't get it, you have to wait 24 hours and play the game again.
I think Resident Evil should go this route, like be more Metroidy, open-ended.
That'd be great.
You know what, Brad?
Everything
Did
should
you
be
watch
this route.
my recent top 5 video?
Yes, I did.
That was what I said. Well, I didn't really say that exact thing, but I did put Resident Evil as my number 1 choice. I'm sorry, I spoiled that.
What a dick.
I'm sorry. Go watch my top 5 video. Anyways,
Fallout.
let's move on. Let's talk about Fallout. We're still playing Fallout. We've played a lot of Fallout.
I played a little bit of Fallout.
I've played a lot of.
I would have played way more Fallout if it wasn't for Jessica Jones.
Dude, I played Fallout while watching Jessica Jones.
How did people? Oh God.
It's not a great way to absorb new material.
No, like
No,
it's when people watch while playing a video game, like it's just
it's not
dude,
like
that's how.
can't-
Dude, it's
I
not.
can't do
I'm
it.
not.
That's how I do, you know.
I'm not like completely doing one or the other. It's like if I'm doing something in Fallout that's very not brain needy. If I'm just like kind of running around the world, I'll watch it. But then if something happens in either one, I pause the other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if people start talking to me in Fallout, I don't keep watching the show. I pause the show or I pause the game.
I feel slightly better now, Nolan. Thank you.
Dude, I don't just do both at the same
There
time.
are people who have been like, yeah, I just throw on an episode of like a show and start playing a game, and I'm just like, how and why?
I don't know. But anyway,
It's like one of my pet peeves.
So speaking of pet peeves, I've been having some issues with Fallout.
Uh-oh.
It's just like little fucking things that I don't understand how Bethesda hasn't fixed by now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I'm really sick of the Pip-Boy's entire thing.
The interface?
Yeah, it's
It's
horrible.
bad.
It's bad.
It's bad, you know. And we had a big kind of poo poo with Skyrim, in that like half the screen is useless, more than half. But it's kind of the same thing here. And then
They've always struggled with
What's really
with UI.
frustrating for me is like sometimes I'm like, oh, I went to town and the shop's closed. What time is it? Pull up my Pip-Boy. Oh, I have to switch screens to look at the clock. Why isn't the clock?
Same
on
thing
every
goes with the
fucking
map
screen?
too, right? The only way to look at the map is to pull up your Pip-Boy and then cycle over to the map, right? I was about to say, please don't tell me there's like a fast button for that. Or
Also, have you ever tried to cycle over to the map and then zoom in on yourself? It's never centered on yourself. Like the cursor's always off to the side, so you zoom in somewhere else, and then it's just
it's
really,
weird.
It's more about looking cool than functionality.
like Bethesda has gotten in their minds that the Pip-Boy, which yes was cool, is a necessity for this universe, and I don't think it is. And so one of the things is they give you the ability to zoom in on it. Why can't I zoom all the fucking way in so it takes up the entire screen? How come they can't show the same shit? You know, like it's almost like a taskbar. You know, on the bottom of a computer window.
Yeah.
How come every screen the taskbar changes? Like the taskbar should be the same on every screen. That should be just universal.
It's
It's been frustrating me How come when I go into my apparel, how come I can't sort it by like hats and armor and leg pieces and arm pieces?
I'll tell you what.
It's fucking alphabetical list.
I'll tell you what,
It's
right
bad.
now, the most frustrating thing I've had with this game, and one of the reasons why I'm having trouble playing it consistently, because literally the problem I've been having, and a lot of this, like I said, has to do with I'm binge watching Jessica Jones right now, but like I'll pop in Fallout and I'll play it for like an hour, and then I'll just be like, I think I'm gonna do something else, and a lot of it comes down to,
Hey, Chris Davis, can you just run this at twice the speed? Is that a thing you can do?
Probably
that's
not.
weird. Why is it running so slow?
But
anyways,
before you get to that,
controls.
because I'm feeling that too, Nick. I just want to say on the UI, there's probably some really good mods, man. But when I had Skyrim, like I had like you open up your fucking inventory, and there was like a text field, and you just start typing,
Oh
and
my
it's
God,
just
that
like
would
a
be
search
amazing.
on a fucking computer, or like you can sort like by clicking little tabs at the top of lists and stuff. Oh,
But
was
why
so
is
nice.
why is every Bethesda game have to rely on mods to actually have
Well, I mean, because
the quality UI? Like the thing is, these problems have been solved, or at least been done better in so many other games.
I mean, it's just
don't
it's just
understand.
not something that Bethesda's that good at. And
No,
you know
that's
what?
always been
and
one of
modders are better
their
at it.
suits. So like right here, this is the farthest out your Pip-Boy can be. You can zoom it in, and it's a little bigger, but it's still not as big as I would like it to be.
This map is just shit.
And yeah, the map isn't the best. And I'm sure it's better on PC than it is on a console.
Oh no, I heard that the UI is designed with consoles
Is
in
it like
mind, and that
Skyrim?
if you have a mouse and keyboard, it's just a shit show.
Really?
Yep.
But yeah, no. So that's one of the things I'm talking about. So like, if you go over to the inventory tab, like, oh yeah, you can
Is this
sort
to
it. Huh?
is this to encourage you to use the app?
Maybe, I don't know. The app's
sucks,
the app's the
too.
same. I mean, it's still fucking all your things alphabetical, but then you can change it by weight and then by value. Who the fuck wants to like sort things by value
Or weight. Or weight.
I mean, I guess weight so you can see what's the heaviest thing, so you can dump it out.
Yeah.
If you have too much weight on you. But then why can't I fucking sort my apparel by types?
I know.
Headgear, arm gear, chest gear, leg gear, full body suits. Like that would make things so much fucking
Alphabetical
better.
order makes absolutely no sense.
And then the inability to compare two pieces of items to compare two
It's
items like
frustrating be-
damage and like
it's frustrating because it only when you look at an item in your inventory, it only compares to the item you currently have equipped in that slot.
yeah.
So like, if you're currently holding like an assault rifle and you find a pistol, it'll tell, like when you look at the pistol on the ground, it'll say, it'll have the minuses next
Yeah,
to
yeah.
it because it says it's weaker.
Which are super fucking dumb. Like, because that's not higher or lower, that's better or worse.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it'll say, like, weight is minus, but that doesn't mean it weighs less. It means it weighs more.
Yeah.
Like, that is so
It
fucking dumb.
actually it basically just means negative or positive impact.
Yes.
And the thing is, like, if you're holding a submachine gun and you look at a pistol on the ground, it'll tell you it's weaker, but it may be stronger than your pistol, which
Yeah.
you don't currently have equipped.
Yeah.
So you have to switch to your pistol and then try and pick it up again to see the difference. It's
What a
and the same-
weird
when you
UI
go
shit.
into your menu, it's contextual based on what you have currently equipped, which I think is insanely frustrating.
Here's a much more broad question.
Okay.
Is anybody else ready for a new IP from Bethesda? Because I'm kind of over your typical high fantasy and post-apocalypse.
What about Prey 2?
I'm just saying, like, I
was
want
that
exactly this type of game.
Prey 2 Bethesda?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
I want exactly this type of game.
But not Bethesda
not Bethesda,
software.
Bethesda.
Not Bethesda software.
No.
Oh, okay.
I want exactly this type of game, but in a new universe. Because, and I know what Nick's was alluding to about just kind of getting bored after an hour. Like, if I'm
It's not about being bored. It's literally about being overwhelmed and just feeling
Sure.
like I'd rather just go watch a TV show.
well, I mean, sometimes you got to take a step back and really
This
ask
game
yourself why you're feeling that
Well, so,
way.
and that's the thing, and that's what I've said, is this game, yes, it's huge. There is so fucking much that you easily get distracted. And when I play it, I force myself, to an extent, to be like, all right, this is the mission I'm going to do. I'm going to do it. If I come across something cool, I'll either come back for it or I'll never see it again. But this is what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't want to be a buzzkill about it because I am really enjoying it. And to answer your question, Brad, yes, I do want a new IP from Bethesda, but at the same time, it's not like I didn't want another Fallout. So I'm glad we got this Fallout, but I think at this point, now that they've done this, they should move on to something new.
Take a break. This, it's funny you're here. Is this the Okay, it doesn't matter where you are. I was kind of tweeting about it where when I'm outdoors in the wasteland, just kind of roaming around, like I'm having so much fun. When I go into like a place like this,
It's just like too much.
No, yeah. Well,
There's
that's
too
part
much
of
to
it.
interact with.
It's
too much
also
to look at.
too samey, and I get real bored.
God damn it!
When I'm indoors,
turn on your Pit Boy light.
well, yeah, for real. When I'm indoors, I get real bored, and I kind of I pretty much fell asleep on the feed. So like I was doing.
That's a first.
No, it's not. I was doing the fucking mission where I gotta find Nick Valentine, and I go inside this place, and there's just a bunch of like dudes with Tommy guns, and more dudes, and more floors, and more little rooms, and I'm just like, I just start to nod off, and I'm like, I gotta switch games now. It's such a weird highs and lows, the Fallout universe, I think, specifically for me, and I get that a little bit with Elder Scrolls as well. It's like when I'm exploring like waterfalls and hills and mountains and stuff, like it's great. But when I'm in a cave for an hour, I just start to get so like it's just not fun at all for me.
Yeah.
So still struggling with that, and I'm worried that I'm gonna kind of fall off this game completely.
You're gonna pull a Witcher.
No, I finished The Witcher. Nick.
I know, but nobody else did.
Yeah, well, I mean, Witcher's got its own host of problems, more than just our lack of time. But yeah, is this the PC? Is it PC footage?
Yeah, this is PC.
This looks a lot better than the PS4 in my
it
opinion.
does.
Like just the lighting. But is I mean, I can't say much more. I haven't played that much more. So
I mean, I've played a lot. And I still enjoy it, but I still get just like frustrated by little things. Like companions are still pissing me off. Even because there's some missions where you have to have another person with you, so now you have 2 people or 3 people around you that get in the way. You know, I'll approach some enemies, and so I go into VATS and start shooting, and then just fucking someone I'm with just walks in front of my bullets and takes all the hits and then falls down. While I'm not shooting the enemy at all, which means you think you can cancel out of VATS at any time, but it's just frustrating that you have to do that.
what if you got a game over every time your companion dies?
Well, that's the thing, and another thing, no one can fucking die. And I've just been encountering more and more and more people who
I can't slaughter.
No, kind of. Like, you know, this person's being a complete dick, and in some other Fallout games, you could just kill him. And you know what? Maybe that fucked up the storyline, but you could kill him.
Yeah.
And in this, there are so many people you can't, like, oh my god.
Because that was super satisfying in Skyrim when you'd walk into a dungeon and just start shooting fireballs and Lydia would get in front of you and die immediately. Like, and then you'd reload your fucking game.
Well, no, I understand. Like, I'm not talking about companions. I'm talking about just like fucking
shopkeepers.
I went on this one mission.
Quest givers.
Exactly. Like I went on this one mission to find a lady, and I found her and she bitch, and I was like, you know, fuck this lady, and I shot her. She falls down, gets up, and walks. I'm like,
wait, really?
But where's?
I haven't tried to kill him.
But where's the line? Because remember, like I said last week, that guy that was in the quarry, I was doing a mission for. I accidentally shot him when I was trying to shoot one of those.
That's good, though.
Crab dudes and killed him.
I like
That's
that.
good.
I know, but why is it like that for some people and not
I
others?
don't know, and that's what I can't figure out. It seems like they just fucking flipped a coin, and like, oh, okay, this person can die, this one can't. Like, it seems like I found like NPCs or that aren't super relevant that I can't kill. But then one guy, like I shot him and it was like quest failed, and I was like, oh, I fucking like that. Finally,
You want to
there
kill
are
some people?
so
Play
many-
Stalker.
Oh yeah, I know. There are so many people, and you know, people have brought up in previous like Fallout and Morrowind games. Sometimes you would kill someone and be like, oh, the game would pop up, like you done fucked up.
Yeah.
Like things have fucking changed now.
Yeah.
Especially Morrowind. You can really fuck
but that's not like this at all.
Hey, so Emily's addicted to this game,
Yeah,
and I went like 4 or 5 days without playing it.
yeah.
Mainly because I was trying to get through Tomb Raider and I finished it. And so I was like, all right, I guess it's time to boot Fallout back up. Turned it on. I forgot where I was. And then I was like, oh yeah, I was doing this. Game loads. I literally turned to my right and there was a rad stag, a little 2-headed deer. I was like, oh, it's a rad stag. those are nice. And then it reared up on its hind legs and kicked me in the face till I died.
Yeah, no, those things are vicious.
And I
Wasteland
told
is
Emily this,
a
and
rough
she
place.
couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, those things are useless. How did that thing even kill you?
No, they're very
Some of them are
dangerous.
She is just infinitely entertained by the fact that I was murdered viciously by a rad stag. Those things are fucked up. This game...
So that's exactly what J52 is talking about. If you saw the clip of me like fighting Ricky, there's this NPC, you meet Ricky, and he gives you a quest. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go and do it. And I'm like, you know what, fuck this Ricky guy. Try and kill him, you can't kill him. I go and do the quest. When I leave the building, he's dead on the ground. Why couldn't I fucking kill him? If the next time I see him, he's dead anyway. It didn't add to... Listen to this.
Was he dead because you tried to kill him, and then but
No.
he wouldn't let him be dead?
No, I reloaded a save.
Oh.
And guess what? I didn't even fucking know it was Ricky. Chat told me. Like, you just looked at Ricky. I was like, what? I just thought it was a fucking dead body. Like, he died. He was a useless fucking character that the game killed off, but I couldn't kill. Like, that's just super fucking frustrating.
It is frustrating. Hey, let's focus for a minute. Maybe we've been kind of negative on this episode. Is there anything you want?
I mean, yeah, I've been negative, but that's just because like it's one of the things where I would bring up. I really.
So is this one of those storms y'all were talking about?
Yeah, it's a radiation storm, a rad storm. And if you see every time the lightning strikes, his rads spike up.
Oh, that's kind of
here.
cool.
So like, watch the lightning go off, or when you hear the thunder. Oh, he's in like a fucking menu now. Fuck you, Kris Davis. I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, like, so I'm definitely enjoying this game. I'm having a lot of fun. Oh, he just fucking fast travels out of the storm. What a wimp. I'm just kidding. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm doing a lot of quests. There's a lot of cool NPCs that you meet. Some of the characters you travel around with have really cool backstories. I didn't even realize it until like halfway through this one character's quest that this is a character we've seen in a different Fallout game before.
Oh, really?
I was like, this guy, like, he seems familiar. I don't know if I want to say what he's from.
Maybe
just
not.
Because some people...
Maybe not.
Whatever. But yeah, and so I've been really enjoying a lot of the stuff. And it's just really frustrating that there are all these little things, like UI interactions, and like things that have been problems for a while that I'm so frustrated that they haven't fixed by now.
It's extra weird that they've taken steps forward in a lot of other areas, but steps like they haven't done anything to other aspects that have needed improving for like 2 other games.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the world a lot.
Yeah, no, I agree. And so power armor is another thing I wanted to talk about. I have like 74 fusion cores now.
I haven't found any new
2.
power armor.
I've used 3, Brad. That's how many I've used.
I still have to.
And so it's because I don't use my power armor that much. And I think it's just because it
Where does it keep your power back at your like base?
wherever you leave it.
Oh.
As long as you take the fusion core out of it, it'll stay there.
Does it at
forever.
least-
It marks them on the map.
Okay, that was my question.
It marks the last one you were in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so if you because I have like 8 or 9 power armor suits. And so one of the things is I think it's also because I play a very stealthy character, and it's a little hard to be stealthy in a suit of power armor. Now I've been looking at the mods, and there is a modification for one of the torso piece of the power armor that you can add a stealth boy effect to it.
Ooh.
So whenever you crouch, it just turns on stealth boy.
Oh, that's cool.
But you have to have like science level 4, which you can't even get till you're like level like 40 something. And so I'm not there yet, but I'm working my way towards it because I kind of want that. And there's like another mod, or no, that's a perk that you use fusion cores like at half the rate or something like that.
Crispy, are you still leveling up your characters like luck and stuff and using that
Dude,
wandering?
heavy luck, heavy science, heavy charisma.
I started pumping some stuff into luck
Do you have like one intelligence?
since our last conversation.
What?
Do you have like no intelligence? Or you do have intelligence.
No, yeah, heavy intelligence for like science.
I hear the most broken perk is the one with
Yeah, that's what I hear too.
Wait, whoa.
Idiot Savant.
idiots about.
Oh yeah.
What is Idiot,
Idiot Savant is a perk that the lower your intelligence, the more likely you will get like triple and quadruple experience for any action. When you have Idiot
So it's
Savant,
rewarding you for being...
yes,
If you're like really dumb.
But if you have high luck, I'm
no,
guessing
that
improves.
increases the chance of it happening.
So you have to increase your luck in order to increase the usefulness of Idiot Savant.
Yes, but that also to an extent, just because you have
See,
intelligence.
Deputy
doesn't mean it
Dangle in
doesn't
chat
work.
says Idiot Savant is a necessity.
I don't think it is.
I mean, the thing is, that's kind of cool. Like, there's
it's
a
like
lot of freedom.
It's
to-
what Brad was saying. Is there's no wrong way. You can't fuck yourself in this game just because there's always something else you can do. that kind of like balances it out. Like I was saying, like I've started focusing on pistols, and I have a pistol that can just fucking destroy. Like my pistol is more powerful than my shotgun,
Yeah.
my strongest shotgun, and my pistol can get 12 shots in VATS. I think.
Is it automatic?
No, semi-auto.
Jeez.
Yeah, 12 shots in VATS, and it's also I think it's also because it's one of the legendary weapons that shoots an extra projectile, and that's one of the things I like is the legendary weapons, and that's why I'm playing on survival. Just because I encounter so many.
What, do you only get the legendary weapons in survival?
No, you get legendary weapons whenever you kill a legendary enemy. It's just the higher the difficulty, the more legendary enemies you encounter.
Oh, gotcha.
And also, but once again, I don't know if I brought this up last week. When you're on survival and you use a stim pack, it takes like 30 to 40 seconds for that stim pack to fill your health.
Damn.
Yeah, it's super fucking slow. So if you're in like a firefight, you can't just pop a stim pack and be cool. You have to like either run away or do something else. No, yeah, like run and hide behind something and use a stim pack because it can get pretty crazy. Now there was a really cool moment. I think I might have when I was playing last night. I think I might have screen capped it or saved the video. I have a rocket, like a legendary rocket sledgehammer.
Yeah.
And that's just like a sledgehammer that has a rocket on the back. So when you use it, the rocket turns on. It makes it go really fast and powerful.
Of course.
And I got a 12 times. Like critical hit, like power, because I'm stealth, and I've been using ninja. And ninja is an ability that the when you're hidden, when an enemy doesn't see you, when the first level, like your melee attacks do double, and then like 5 times, and then like 10 times. But I also have a couple other perks that increase that multiplier. And there was this giant fucking I think it might have been a legendary death claw. I was like fighting. I like dropped into a pit and it just came out of nowhere. And then I ran around and hid from it. And then it lost me. And I just walked up behind it and fucking one-hit it.
Nice.
With a fucking sledgehammer. And it was fucking beautiful.
I've heard nobody talk about Bloody Mess.
I have Bloody Mess and I fucking love it. I also
haven't done it yet.
Oh, you haven't? I mean, it's the same thing. It increases the damage or critical hit damage, one or the other. And then also just they'll explode. But I really want the max level of Bloody Mess. Because the final version of that, whenever you call someone to explode, there's a chance that other people around them will just explode.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I really fucking want that.
So if you get like a critical hit on somebody
and they're like a group?
explode, and they're in the middle of a group, it could just like a giant blood tornado.
That sounds wonderful.
Tsunami of blood and viscera.
But I mean, one of the things I like about this, and you've seen GIFs and stuff online, is just the fact that the world really is moving around you. Like shit just happens. You'll be in conversation with somebody, and an enemy will run up. I was in a conversation with this one fucking guy, this like cult leader, and he's talking to me, and like a fucking vertibird like crashed. Like on top of the building we were in, so it's like you can hear like I saw the vertibird before I went into this building talking to this guy, and I was like, oh, I guess it's like fighting something, and then all of a sudden mid-conversation, it just and the screen shaking, and I'm taking damage, and like explosions are
But the
going
conversation
on.
continues as normal?
Oh yeah, I mean, I walked outside and I was like, oh Jesus Christ, the
Well,
vertibird just crashed.
I think we're gonna revisit a little bit of Fallout each week. So let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk. I think Crispy's played some Battlefront. Want to tell us about that? Now that you've had an extensive amount of time to play it. We have a bunch of questions from our patrons this week, so we'll go over those and the 4-player minute and all the good stuff when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Bitches. Hello, Brad.
Hey, Nick.
Welcome to the bump spot.
My favorite part of the day.
What? Anyways, it's been a great week. I
have some stuff here, Nick.
What do you have on your sheet there, Brad?
I don't know what's on your sheet.
Well, let me tell you what's on my sheet, Brad. It's been a great week / month for Patreon. We've got some new pledges here. We've been pumping out some new content. We've been a little busy. It's getting towards the end of the year, so that's to be expected. But we have a new newsletter that went out the other day.
A new newsletter.
And I included a sneak peek at some new T-shirt designs that we had done for us that we're going to be launching the 4-player store with, hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully in December, maybe in time for the holidays.
Awesome. Those are some pretty sweet designs.
There's some cool designs. The first one is a tribute to the Roach of Krondor. You remember that guy, right?
I remember that motherfucker.
And the second one is a homage to Scooter Brothers, which is one of our most oldest and most popular clips on YouTube.
I
So
remember.
I bet you do. So we'll be selling those in the new store when we launch that. If you're a patron, you can check out the designs in the latest newsletter that went out. Which, if you are a patron, it should be in your email inbox.
That's cool.
We also have a few new top 5 videos coming down the pipe. I know this month Nolan and potentially Ed are going to be cranking one out. Can you stop rubbing paper together?
That was you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll stop that. Nolan and Ed are potentially rolling out a new top 5 video this month. Nolan is contemplating doing his top 5. I think we're just tentatively calling it top 5 collectathons. The most entertaining. How would you describe this, Brad?
Well, the games where he actually enjoys collecting all that shit, or maybe the top 5 things he likes to collect specifically.
We're still hashing out the details of the
hashing
actual
out the
topic,
details.
but him and Ed will both put out a video this month. I think it's going to be Ed. So look for those. I just put out a new Silent Hill 3 Let's Play episode. I had to take a month off because I was moving, but I'm back, and I cranked out an episode, which is available now to our patrons. So check that out if you can. What am I missing, Brad?
Well, were you going to talk about Patreon? The Patreon app?
Oh shit! Thank you. I didn't even remind you about that, and thank you. There is a Patreon app that is now available. We've been waiting for this for a while. They just quietly released it. So if you're a patron, or if you're interested in becoming a patron, I would urge you to download the Patreon app from the Apple App Store or the Google Play App Store. They're available on both, and it's a great window into our content that we're releasing on Patreon. It's just another way for you to access it easily and on your mobile device. So I would urge you to do that. It's free, so do that, please. And God, there was one other thing. Oh yeah, Game of the Year videos. We're getting close. Woo! 2015 is almost at an end, and we're gearing up for our top 10 lists as we do every year. Apparently, our tentative Game of the Year lists are due.
They're due soon. I'm nervous.
They're due.
We got to send them that
soon.
list of stuff that doesn't really mean anything, but at least it lets us start recording footage.
Exactly. So be on the lookout for those. And of course, after we cross over in 2016, you can expect our 2015 award show to be recorded. So with that, I think we're going to get back to our regularly scheduled podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting us if you're a patron and or a Twitch subscriber. Either one. It's cool. Or just listening. Thank you for supporting us with your ears.
Boom bow.
That was pretty good, Brad.
Thanks.
Cows in that game.
You can't write.
You can put fucking like things on cows' assholes that make them fly.
Like on their assholes?
No, you haven't seen that? Like, it's some sort of, I don't know what it was. It was some kind of explosive that just shoots a jet out the back, and this dude put like 3 of them on a cow's butt, and it just
Was it that?
I hate you.
No!
I hate you. And it made the cow fly away and then explode.
I don't look at stuff, Nolan.
Okay.
Don't look at it.
Look what you made me do to the audio, Nolan.
I mean, you could use that thing for a cup holder. God damn it.
I can see it from here, kind of.
It's more of a koozie.
Nick saw it. Brad, you're the only one.
Just keep holding it up so Nick has to look at it. No, Game of the Year is
What have I
Undertale. Don't y'all know anything
What
about
have
Undertale?
I seen with my eyes? Oh my god.
Have y'all been writing down?
Nolan, put it down.
Do you have a preliminary list of... Do you have a preliminary list of the games you played this year from other years? I always forget to write those down. I have no idea what the
Dude,
fuck
I always
played.
start at the beginning of the year. Like after our end of the year videos, I'm like, this isn't happening again. And like January through like March, I fucking write down every game and I'll write down my thoughts. And then come like April 1st, just never again until like
You
Chris
guys are
Davis is
gonna
like,
have
"We
to
need the
fucking
list."
remind me what I played this year from other years. Damn it.
I haven't played anything this year that wasn't from another year.
Y'all should see my list
You're
that I
about to start
update every
playing
time I play or finish a game.
What have I even...
I do it every time. I've been doing it for 3 years.
Stream?
Let's start the show.
Oh, I'm already recording. This is the show.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Fuck, we are in the show.
I have really nothing to say about it, but guess what, Crispy?
Hey, what's up?
I played through first episode of Tales from the Borderlands.
You don't have anything to say about it?
No,
Like, it was humorous?
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's funny. Funny. It's still very telltale, but it's funny.
See how organized my list is?
Dude, didn't I give you that?
No, I made this.
Dweeb.
Dude, I made a spreadsheet like 4 years ago.
So
And I shared it with everyone.
this
No, this is mine.
Brad.
Yeah.
This last week, I finished the Game of Thrones Telltale series.
Oh, I heard that
And
sucked.
who would have thought that Telltale would have made a game based on Borderlands and a game based on Game of Thrones? And their Borderlands one would be my favorite one they've ever done. And their Game of Thrones one would be like my least favorite one.
Well, there's not a funny boning in
Nick, when
At
did,
all?
when
in
did
Game
you,
of Thrones.
when-
is
There's
funny.
also nothing
Nick,
really
when did you
interesting
start that
happening.
list? You
Dude,
said
you
you
know-
said 3 years ago?
About the Sacred Grove.
Here's mine from games played in 2011. Oh, look
That
at
is not the same format, Nolan.
Well, yeah, you changed the format. My format from 2014 is different from 2011.
My list goes back to 2012.
Is this really the podcast?
Guys,
Mine's
this is
2011.
He's
podcast-
challenging me. I will not have
This
this.
is a podcast about video games, not about spreadsheets about video games.
But there are video games about spreadsheets in video games.
What about video games about spreadsheets that are about video games?
Spreadsheets about podcasts that are about video games,
Wait, you
and
don't-
then spreadsheets that are
You
about
don't make
podcasts about
spreadsheets when you play video
spreadsheets
games?
about video games.
Like if there's some like stats
Dude,
or like
I-
shit that you just bring up.
I don't
like,
do
"Oh, look."
anything with sheets. I don't even wash the sheets on my bed.
You know, they say you're supposed to wash your sheets like every 2 weeks.
I do not hit that.
Oh God, I don't do that either.
Really?
Yeah,
I just
dude.
have multiple bed sheets.
I wash my sheets maybe.
I
No,
wait,
you know what? No, I'm not gonna go there.
I
I'm not
wait
gonna talk about it
until
on the podcast.
the bed sheet like pulls itself up off the bed. and
You should
then I'm
really,
like,
you should
well,
at
I
least
guess-
change your pillow cover every once in a while.
With what? All of my millions of pillow covers that I have?
They cost like $1.
I don't.
More than $1.
Replace it? You mean wash it?
Or do you have more than one pillowcase? Yeah, just switch it out.
You know how much
I
money
do not even
budget
come
towards
close to that either,
pillowcases?
Crispy.
I don't know what it is.
So you know
But
what?
I don't care to speculate.
I haven't died yet, so I think I'm good.
I take a shower every day, so what does it matter?
Well, that's good.
That's good. Come on, guys. What happened?
We
to
were
last-
talking about video games, and you
Yeah,
guys were
video
talking
games.
over
You were
us.
talking about Game of Thrones.
I was talking about Game of Thrones. I finished Game of Thrones, and it was
Meh.
whatever.
Yeah. Should I play that?
That's
Really-
kind of how I felt
Dude.
about the one with the
Hold
frog.
on, hold on. Serious question.
So-
Should I spend the precious little time I have left
No.
this
I don't know,
year?
man.
No.
If your game turns out the way my game did, I would say no. Because here's the thing. Some people can die because it's Game of Thrones and because it's a Telltale game. But that means, like, some people can die at the end of the series, at the end of episode 6, which means that all the time you spent playing their storyline and hated it was all a fucking waste because they just ended up getting killed anyway.
Yeah.
And that happened to me with one character, and I feel so unfulfilled by Telltale's Game
Hey.
of Thrones.
Welcome to George R. Martin's design.
It just doesn't. What he does in the books makes sense when he's like crafting one story. When he's making like a story that isn't just like the fucking Subway of storytelling where it's just walk down the bar and pick out what elements you want. Oh, you want Cersei to be a bitch to you in this scene? We'll say this to her. Oh, you want this character to die instead of this character? Like when you're... It's not compelling because it's stupid because the story loops around these needlessly dramatic moments but still ends up taking you to the same place either way. So it doesn't really matter who lives or who dies. It doesn't really matter what you say to Ramsay Bolton in this scene because he's still a fucking asshole and he's still gonna fuck your shit up later because it's Game of Thrones, you know?
It still
I
seems really
thought-
tense in the moment, though.
It does,
While like
but
Borderlands never does because it's a comedy and
I refute that. I reject that, and here's why. Because there are so many moments in Game of Thrones where they like stop everything. They're like, you choose something right now. I don't care anymore because I know that either choice is gonna suck. Either choice is going to lead to something bad. Oh, this character is going to die, or this character is going to die. And it doesn't help that I don't really fucking care about any of these characters.
that's the big problem I think.
That's
with-
not just the only problem. It's also that you can't win in a lot of these situations, so it doesn't matter what happens either way. At least in Tales of the Borderlands, when shit was going on, like the way those characters interact with each other and the relationships that they have is like half of the story, and I definitely care about that. I definitely care about like whether or not Vaughn and fucking Reese are gonna be like buddies, or if they like fucking betrayed each other and they hate each other now. Like I care about that stuff way more than I do which Game of Thrones character is gonna die, because guess what? They all die.
Well, that's my thing with all Telltale games, is all of them are that same in that same regard that. You don't really have a choice. I mean, people die or people live, and it's just you kind of choose if they take the right path or left path that end up in the same place.
Yeah.
And so I had just kind of assumed that since in the Game of Thrones universe, there's lots of drama and lots of people dying and shit like that, that Telltale would excel at this. But I mean, I guess that's not the case.
Is it
just the writing that's not good?
The reason why it doesn't work is because, like, the Game of Thrones story that everyone knows and loves is one path. It is one narrative that was constructed in a very specific way for very specific reasons. When you try to inject that kind of tenseness and that kind of drama into a story that's literally just pick your own plot points, it doesn't work, because it all feels hollow, because everything has to suck, because that's what's in keeping with the Game of Thrones.
The opposite,
like,
though,
feeling.
with Borderlands is I think it has no stakes. Like, for example, it's like, oh, should I have Loaderbot like sacrifice himself so we can live? Or like, should I tell him to escape? Or should I let this guy like blow up? Or should I trust this girl? Should I give her the weapon? Or my best friend, should I like betray him? You're not gonna do any of that shit, because you know that there's no fucking stakes. So you're not gonna be a horrible person, because you don't need to be a horrible person.
You're right, but here's the thing: both stories are structured in the same way, where it's these looping paths that meet up at predefined intersections, and the story generally goes the same way. So it doesn't really matter.
But in the moment,
in the moment, it matters to you. And when, God damn it, Brad, you fucking derailing me. It doesn't matter. The choices don't matter in either game.
They don't matter
at
in any
least
Telltale
when you're
game.
making those choices in Borderlands, it's fun and it's funny. And I want to go back and play it just to see what the other choices were.
But I disagree that they don't matter. Well, in the grand scheme,
you're kind of saying that they don't matter.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
They don't matter in the grand scheme of things. They only matter to you if you care about the decision you're making. And in games like Walking Dead, you cared just because you cared about the characters. You were engrossed in the story. You cared about what was going on. Like for me, I haven't played either Game of Thrones or Borderlands, Telltale games, and so I can't speak to those. But like in Minecraft, I don't give a fucking shit what I choose, because I don't care about what's going on. Yes, I like when something funny happens, but like I don't really care about the characters. Whereas in Walking Dead, I cared about them, and so I knew that the outcome was going to be the same no matter what. But when I was still put in those situations where I had to make a choice, it still felt like the choice I was making mattered.
But I feel like
how is that the same thing?
The main point is that choice that you gave as an example from Tales of the Borderlands, where do you tell Loaderbot to self-destruct to kill everybody, or do you try to help him like to safety?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Loaderbot's still a character in the story, but that choice affects whether or not Loaderbot's your buddy or Loaderbot fucking hates you for the rest of the story. And I care about that way more than I do.
But that's because you like it more and because the writing's better, and I agree with you.
But that's all I'm saying. Is like,
but I'm saying in the moment, that's not a tough choice for me at all. Like you're saying, it didn't really matter, or maybe it did matter. But I'm saying in the moment, it did. Like
what do you mean? What do you mean
it's
not a tough choice for you?
It's not a fucking tough choice. No one's going to choose to sacrifice Loaderbot.
People did.
Well, I mean, like
that's one of the statistics.
There's always the crazy 15% that you don't understand.
What does that matter that they gave you a choice that you don't think many people?
We're kind of saying the same thing. We're just saying we care about different things. And for me, none of the characters in the Game of Thrones story like caught with me at all. Like I didn't like any of them. Like the ones that were the most interesting were the ones that were ripoffs of characters from the actual book series.
But I disagree on the concept of decisions not mattering, because in the grand scheme they will take you the same place. I disagree on that part.
How?
Because I still think that it is like I like having control over the way I shape my story and how it might be different than somebody else's.
We're saying the same thing.
But that's what we're saying, Brett.
Like-
You said it's a circular path, or like a fucking lattice path. That no matter you can all these branching paths you can go down, but they all end in the same place.
you're right,
in
and I don't care about
Borderlands,
that.
you have more like in Borderlands.
So what
It's
is your
more
argument?
rewarding. It's more rewarding. Like the different choices are a lot better because, like I was saying, like I liked Loaderbot. I wanted him to be like my robot bro throughout the whole story, so that choice mattered to me. In Game of Thrones, it's just choosing between if this guy dies or if this guy dies. It's choosing between are you going to be a dick to this dude because he's taking over your house, or are you going to kneel to him?
But that's what
like that sucks either way.
That's
I don't
what I'm
fucking
saying,
care.
Crispy, is it
my
co-
story, no matter which path my story goes down, it's a story about the Foresters getting fucked.
But that's what
And
I'm saying,
it's not
Crispy. It's
fun.
down to the writing.
Yeah.
It's if you care about the characters or you care about the choices you're making. Once again, you're going to
That's-
end in the same place.
that's exactly
but
what it
it's
is.
about you. That's what I'm saying. That's why I love the Telltale, the Walking Dead games, because I cared about the characters. Whereas in the Minecraft game I've been playing, I don't care about them. So honestly, I don't give a shit what choices I make because no matter what, I'm just kind of playing it.
Can we just
I
kind of talk about for a second, or
we're
maybe
kind of saying the same thing.
can we just kind of admit that maybe Telltale's success with The Walking Dead was kind of not a one-off, but like I think it's
Lightning in a
far more
bottle.
likely.
I don't think it's necessarily.
I think it's
one-off. I just think they had a really good story, and so that's what took. That's what
It has
took
the
them
stakes
off.
of Game of Thrones and the characters you care about of Borderlands.
But
and that's why it works
But that's
better
what I'm
than the
saying
others.
is the writing for that game was better than these other games. Now the problem is
None of these-
they're fucking
yeah.
churning out these games, whereas The Walking Dead they didn't churn that out. They spent some time on that.
None of these games have been good because of mechanics. They've been good because of writing. Walking Dead had good writing. Borderlands has good writing. Game of Thrones doesn't have good writing.
But that's what
I
I'm saying.
agree with you. I completely
That
agree.
is all
After
this
3
is.
episodes again, but I completely disagree on the whole decisions don't matter based on the quality of writing.
That's completely
okay.
wrong though, Brad.
okay, I don't like.
Opinion. What I'm saying is, it goes back to the grand scheme of things. Of do your decisions matter if they lead you to the same place?
No, but Brad,
But also, the concept of stakes in universe. Like I'm saying, the stakes are so low in Borderlands for me that I think it would be better if you just made decisions less
So hold on.
and you just watched it.
Brad, do you care
or
about the characters
experienced
in
that
Borderlands?
universe.
Sure.
I mean, I played 1 episode, but I mean, sure, some of them, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying though, is if you don't care about them, then yeah, the decision doesn't matter.
But see, not every decision you make is like the fate of a character.
No
you
one
know?
ever said it was.
Hey, why are we arguing?
Yeah.
Because because I don't understand what Brad's talking about. I'm saying that when it comes down to these big fucking decisions, live or die, you only care if you care about the characters.
Okay. And what I'm saying is that maybe all Telltale games, no matter what they are, whether it's a serious game or a funny game or high stakes or not a lot of stakes, I'm saying they place a lot of emphasis on making decisions like it really fucking matters. And I'm saying there's a lot of decisions you make in Borderlands that seem almost silly because like a lot of that stuff doesn't really feel like it matters.
So if you're not making decisions, what are you doing in this game?
You got a point. Maybe Tales from the Borderlands would be fucking better as a goddamn show or something.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point of the Telltale model is they give you a show and they just randomly give you a chance to just say what you want to say. That's the whole point.
You're
of it.
basically iterating
I mean,
on an episode of a TV show.
You're pointing out the flaws of a genre of game and reducing it to one particular game. I want you to play the Game of Thrones one and tell me if those choices really feel like
I've
they
played
matter.
3 episodes.
And it doesn't really
it-
feel like it matters at all.
In the
Like,
moment, it
it
does.
doesn't. It so doesn't. After 3 episodes of that shit, the game gets all serious and they take away the fucking timer and they zoom in and the character's just going, well, what's it going to be? Am I going to kill her or am I going to kill him? Da, da, da. And I'm like, I don't fucking care anymore. Just kill somebody and move the story
But Crispy,
forward.
all you're telling me is you don't like it and a decision shouldn't matter to me because you didn't like it.
No, but I'm saying it's the exact
What I'm saying
Guys,
is,
this conversation-
whether
I
I cared about that
I'm done.
stupid
I'm done.
fucking
I'm done.
Forrester girl or not, that conversation with Cersei was more tense than anything in Borderlands.
We're not.
There
No
was
one's
no-
That's
talking
all I'm
about
saying.
tense.
There was no way.
No,
to
that's what
come
I'm
out.
talking about. That
But hold on, Brad. That's what I'm saying. Is you're making an argument that no one
If
is
you know-
arguing with you about.
If you know Cersei as a character and you know that no matter what you say, she's just gonna twist it around and be a bitch to you about it. Like,
we just disagree on
you're being
aspect.
you're being loyal to me. That makes you a little kiss ass. Or you're being loyal to Marjorie. That makes you a traitor.
Crispy.
It doesn't matter.
Crispy, we just disagree on that one aspect about about both things.
We're
being,
talking in circles.
about both things
Dude,
being
fuck Sarah.
about
fuck Sarah. Fuck Sarah. I don't
right.
give a fuck about Sarah.
I agree.
a
Everyone
bastard.
hates Sarah. I have no idea who that is, but we hate her. Let's move on from this
I
circular
disagree with
conversation.
Chris.
I am never bringing up a Telltale game in this podcast ever again. Good lord.
Even if both things could be bad, it still
Yeah.
matters to me.
I
That's
mean,
where I
yeah.
disagree with Crispy.
It could be, but it's not.
Oh my god.
Please.
I'm just gonna sit here and
What's?
I'm gonna sit here in
That's the last
silence
game, right?
until
Can
the
we-
last word is spoken.
No, we got to move on to news, Nick. It's time for the news.
It's time for the news.
Or I guess we're not talking about Battlefront again.
Hey, Star Wars Battlefront's still a game.
I mean, Chris, have you played a lot of it, Crispy?
Yeah, I played. I don't know, a lot. I don't know.
You like
I'm
it?
using it as a palate cleanser. So when I play Fallout and something happens, like if I die and I haven't saved for a while, or if I
Oh, you gotta save a lot in that
if I've
game.
thank you, or if I've just been fucking crawling around in buildings for too long, I'll
If,
turn it off.
if I
and
just
I'll
got
go-
killed by a rad stag, maybe
yeah,
it's,
I'll
maybe
turn
it's
it
time
off
for
and go play like an hour of Battlefront, and it's not like a fucking stellar game, but I'm enough of a Star Wars nerd that it's entertaining to me to
Yeah.
watch.
How do we feel about this being the first?
I'm like a lady stormtrooper and I run around without my helmet on. Like I got my little ponytail like whipping around and I'm like, I've never seen that in Star Wars before. That's
true.
pretty cool.
That is true.
How do we feel about this
Like-
being the first post Disney Star Wars this is
You know what's weird
the
about
first Disney era Star Wars game?
Let me tell you something. You know what's really weird about this game, especially being a product of post Disney acquisition of Star Wars, is that it is slavishly like reverent of the original movies. If it's not from the original movies, it's not in this game, with the exception of the planet Solace. Like there's one map in the game that isn't like a place that they go to.
I think they're banking on the fact that
the-
everyone loves the
to-
original trilogy,
no,
and
it's
so many
true.
people don't like the newer ones.
Dude,
It's true, but like to the point where they're making decisions like putting the Emperor in as one of the villain hero characters instead of
What?
like
That'd be weird.
Yeah. So like the three villain characters are Darth Vader, the Emperor, and Boba Fett. Which the Emperor is powerful, obviously,
is he
but
like
you
super
wouldn't.
slow?
No, he's not. Oh my god, that's the best part about this game too. The Emperor is not slow at all, and he still like hunches over like this. So like if you're on Endor and like heroes are active and somebody gets a role as the Emperor and they're like running around, like you'll be like looking through the trees and you'll see like a bunch of stormtroopers and then you'll just see this like hunch figure like running like a dinosaur, and then he like runs up on a group of rebels and just like shocks them all and kills them immediately. It's so funny.
What?
It's so funny how he moves, but it doesn't make any sense.
That's funny because
Like-
you say funny. I was envisioning that, and it looks creepy as fuck. to
Dude,
me.
it's incredible.
But no,
He's-
like if you think of the Emperor from the original
Yeah.
trilogy, he's not some. He's just
Think
some
of-
really slow moving.
yeah, think of him from Return of the Jedi when he's like, "You will see how mistaken you really are about a great many things." Imagine that guy, but running as fast as a stormtrooper. Like,
Well, so that's
but
very,
he's still doing the little hunch thing.
so
It's
that's
great.
very original trilogy then.
Yeah,
Well,
it's super original trilogy.
What's funny about the way Disney is handling Star Wars is that they have said multiple times, like the higher ups, like Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams, whatever, they would say, episodes 1 and 3 exist, but beyond the fact admitting that they exist, they're really not
Yeah.
treating it like
You
they
know,
exist.
you know what would be a cool villain character, or what do they call them in Battlefront?
Well, they're like hero. If it's rebels, they're heroes. If it's
Imperial
they're
hero
villains.
would be Greedo, but you can't shoot until someone shoots at you first.
Oh, but then you have like a or like if someone shoots and hits you first, you have like a supercharge
Yeah.
shot. Like, yeah.
Or Jabba the Hutt,
Dude.
that'd be cool.
The heroes are pretty cool and they do feel different and you do feel like really badass playing as a hero. It just everyone's gunning for you. At
Oh,
that
yeah.
I
point,
heard the
so.
hero battles were real shit though.
Well, there's two different modes. There's like Hero Hunt, which is 8 players and everyone is on one team. 7 people are on one team.
I hear Hero Hunt sucks.
And then the other one is your hero. Mm-hmm. So you're just running around like killing.
I heard Hero Hunt sucks.
That's what Chris Davis said.
Chris
the
Davis
heroes versus heroes also kind of.
Chris
like
Davis
it.
just typed it in.
Oh.
He said Hero Hunt.
I don't know. It's fun. I like it. I mean, it's not like most of the time when I'm playing Battlefront, I'm not playing one of those like silly little extraneous modes. I'm just playing Conquest.
Yeah,
because that's like what the game is essentially.
Cool.
Are we upset that this is a full price $60 game? Did not come with a campaign.
It feels really bare bones for what it is. It feels really bare bones.
But there's $50 more content coming.
Yeah, like I cannot fucking recommend that somebody go out and buy this game because of the price. I would say, wait until next year when all the DLCs.
You know what I think this feels like? It feels like this should be like a Gotham City Imposters kind of situation where
that would be great.
$30 download
That would be
or something
fucking
like that.
Great. I love Gotham City Imposters.
License is too expensive.
Oh yeah,
for that.
Yeah, that would have been an ideal thing.
But goddamn, the license is so expensive. Why don't get as much out of it as you possibly can, like including a fucking campaign mode? Like, so many people are willing to shell out $60 to buy Call of Duty every year because it has great multiplayer and it has like a solid 6-hour campaign and they know it's going to be solid.
When's the last time DICE has made a good shooter campaign?
Dude.
Battlefield campaign.
It's all relative because, Battlefield campaigns are nowhere near as good as like Call of Duty campaigns, but I guarantee you, the only reason I was willing to shell out $60 to buy Battlefield 3 was because it had a campaign with the multiplayer. Like if you told me
that's not most people though.
This would have been cool if there was like a campaign, like an actual story campaign with
that's
you're
the,
playing.
That's the
like
reason I didn't get it,
a
and I don't
unit of
plan on getting
rebels.
it.
Yeah, like who doesn't want another Star Wars story? I do. I mean, it's just for $60 for the base game, and then being the fact that it's basically online only, you kind of have to have the season pass. So it's essentially $110.
And part of the news I think this week is that
It's
EA
ridiculous.
was talking about. That EA was talking about there's going to be, certainly going to be more Battlefront or Battlefield games, or Battlefront games, Battlefront games, and it almost strikes me as like a Titanfall situation where there's talk about Titanfall 2 having a campaign because they realized after Titanfall 1 came out the only thing it was missing was a fucking campaign. Which Titanfall is another example of a game that I won't shell out $60 for because it's just a multiplayer game. So. I don't know.
I will say this: I'm not going to talk about Zero Escape Virtue's last reward tonight.
Would you like to, Brad? We can stop talking about Battlefront right
now.
No,
I mean, I forgot to record footage, and I can always play more.
Okay. Well, then why don't we just do the news? Maybe next week. Maybe next week we'll have some Battlefront footage.
If more of these people were like inquisitive or something, maybe I could have a conversation, but it'd just be forced.
What the hell is that about?
I want to play it. It's just I have to play it.
No, I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying.
Are you calling us non-inquisitive?
I'm just saying I don't think there's much fuel to this conversation. Dave the Zombie, you would like to hear about it? What if we talk about it next week?
Can you just give us a synopsis? Like, I mean, there's a picture of it on the screen, Brad. You have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or at least people.
I just feel bad because there's no footage, but
there will be in the video.
I'm enjoying Virtue's Last Reward. It is a visual novel game with escape room style like puzzles. Has anybody here played 999?
Mm-hmm. So that's the DS game, right? And this one's on Vita.
Yes, this is the second game in the Zero Escape series.
Is it only on Vita?
No, it is also on 3DS.
Okay, but that's like, now it makes sense.
Yeah, it's a story that's kind of not post. It's like kind of like I feel like there's a lot of these stories in like Japanese fiction, kind of like Battle Royale or whatever, where you have a bunch of kids or teenagers like in a place together. Lost Dimension was a little bit like that. The Danganronpa series is kind of like that. Corpse Party's kind of like that. You just have teenagers in a place. They don't know how they got there. They're trying to figure that out. People are going to end up dying soon. And I think that's the premise for a lot of like visual novel type stuff, which is interesting. But here you're 9 people and you have these watches on, and there's a bunny rabbit that's telling you that you're gonna die or if you don't escape, and it's a really interesting story, and I think the writing's really good and the voice acting's incredible. I really enjoy the presentation of this story. If you're going to do a visual novel, like, that stuff needs to be on point. It's why I think, say, the Phoenix Wright series is really good, even though the actual gameplay of that series is kind of like crappy. You know what I mean? I think the gameplay here is also kind of lame. When you do it, it's actually not that often, but you're in a room and you're kind of like looking around, clicking around, trying to solve a puzzle, finding some items, putting some items together to, like, you know, figure out a code for like a safe that's going to get you the key to get the fuck out. But what's cool is that you're one of the really interesting things about this story and the presentation of the story is there's like this like crazy amount of detail and specificity that goes into like describing everything. Like, we found a bomb like under like somebody's bed, or a bed that we found in like the infirmary or whatever, and we went into a deep conversation about how antimatter works with matter and stuff. It's a weird level of explanation specificity that is you don't see in a lot of other games, and it kind of pulls you in. I mean, it's a visual novel. You're not working with a lot of like moving graphics and stuff, but this level of detail really pulls you in. This is a game where you're never moving around a character, really. But they are fucking maps, and they show you like the layout of this environment that you're in, and as you're moving around it, it's just kind of showing you how the rooms connect to each other, even though you're never moving around it yourself. They're just kind of setting the stage, and it's crazy how much detail they go into. It makes it feel weird, like heightened, but very, very interesting because of it. I just think the puzzles are kind of tedious. I wish there was a way I can kind of like cheat them, but I hear the escape room codes are randomized, so you have to do the puzzles. But again, you know, that story is really good, and it's starting to do some like really crazy stuff where I'm kind of in like this Groundhog Day thing where I thought I was kind of like starting the game over, and I was going to make a different choice to like change the way something happening at like a choice point, but the other character chose like the opposite that they chose the first time around.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Brad.
Wait, so you actually restarted the game?
No. Like, the story restarts the game, and the character's like aware of it. And he's making a choice based on what he thinks the other. Okay, so part of the setup for this game is sort of like this prisoner dilemma sort of thing, where you don't know what the other person is going to choose.
Yeah.
But their choice is going to affect, you know, your choice as well in the end. And it's the kind of thing, am I going to choose to betray them or not? Because if they choose to betray me, then we both benefit from it. But if I choose not to betray them and they choose to betray me, I'm really going to hurt. But if I choose to betray them and they don't choose to betray me, then they're going to really suffer. But you're building relationships with these people, and you're trying to build this trust, but you're all trying to get out of this place alive. So there's like this really interesting like points in the story where you have to make these choices, and it's getting weird and crazy, and y'all should play it.
Cool.
You should have some footage of that.
That wouldn't help.
Wait, how are you going to get footage of it anyways? It's only
Vita TV.
Oh, yeah, of course. I forgot about that.
Which is like
Never
20
mind.
bucks right now.
Really?
A Vita TV is like 20 bucks.
So do you have to play 999 to...
No.
They're completely they're not related.
But
They
it's the
are.
same kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah, similar.
But you
don't
don't.
have to.
It's like
they're not, yeah.
that's like Telltale. That developer has like a style that they kind of roll with.
Yeah.
Well, these are a little more connected than that, but you don't have to play 999.
Don't play 999.
No, I mean 999 is supposed to be a great fucking game.
Yeah, I know.
But
Painted Smile in chat says 999 helps.
it is not required. It
But
also
not
doesn't
required.
have like voice acting, of which it's really good here. Like, the character of Zero is fucking hilarious, even though he's murdering.
That's what she said, Dave.
Well, perhaps we will revisit it next week with maybe some footage. Anyways, let's what do we got in the news this week? It's been kind of
There's been some news.
It's been some news.
So do you remember how Deus Ex did that augment your pre-order thing.
Yeah.
And they were like, if we get enough pre-orders, the game will come out 4 days early.
But if we don't, we're gonna delay it.
But if we don't, it's coming out
That's
6
a-
months late.
Oh, thanks, sir.
Sorry, I didn't mean
Finishing
to.
my punchline, fuckers.
Sorry.
Oh, was that actually your punchline?
Well, that's what
It's
I'm
very
fucking
specific
talking
in the
about.
actual graphic thing.
Yeah, that is pretty specific. Anyways, it's been delayed.
Well, what do you think
No,
it
I'm not
means,
trying to
Nolan?
hijack your topic. Go for it.
That's what I was fucking talking about. So they're gonna release it 4 days early, but then they were like, "Well, fine, never mind. No one wants to do this. We'll drop it." And then, like a month after they dropped the pre-order thing, they're like, "Never mind, the game's 6
Still
months."
technically a few days early. Like are they like, well, it could come out like August 26th, but it's actually coming out August 23rd.
Yeah.
It's hypothetically coming out.
This is true.
It just it doesn't bode well for the fact that they said it was going to come out 4 days early, and now all of a sudden they're delaying it by 6 months.
But the comment I made on Twitter is they announced this delay shortly after, like about a week after the release of Tomb Raider, where they chose to release it the same day as Fallout 4.
yeah,
And if you look at the original date for Deus Ex,
it was
a
February.
very crowded date.
Oh no, yeah, definitely.
Isn't it-
I can
around-
see Square Enix going, let's not make that mistake again.
Wasn't it around Dark Souls 3 and
It's around everything.
like XCOM 2?
There was a lot of stuff
XCOM
coming out
Mirror's
that
Edge?
day.
I think is the
Yeah.
same. Yeah.
Far Cry Primal.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
Fire
hope so.
Emblem.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right, because that would be a sign that maybe they're actually paying attention to these kinds of things, and
Yeah,
maybe
that would be good.
And maybe it's also a sign that they know not to blame the performance of Tomb Raider on the quality of the game, and maybe not use that as an excuse to discontinue that franchise.
I'm fine with them delaying it.
Honestly, yeah, like that, like we said, like that part of the year was already crowded as fuck.
If it means less games are on the same time, and maybe they have a little more time to work on it to work out some bugs, I'm fine with that.
August is usually pretty.
No, yeah, it's usually pretty.
Yeah, you
dry.
say it's fine to delay that until you realize that date, like, there's some other crazy shit coming out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's in August.
Yeah. But you're right, August is never usually too bad.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll take a Deus Ex game with 6 months, 6 additional months in the oven.
I do kind of want a new Deus Ex game. Though.
Yeah, I loved Human Revolution.
Yep, me too.
That's always been on my list to go back and replay, but that's never gonna happen in the next decade.
It was one of the first games I broadcast.
Nice.
All right, what else we got? What else?
I got a news topic for you.
All right.
Forgot to bring it up last week. Chair announced a new game.
Yeah. You mean Epic Games?
Chair Entertainment. I remember a little Twitter conversation about somebody tweeted at Chair going, "Oh man, I really want a new Shadow Complex," and Chair was like, "Well,
Yeah.
you know, just get excited soon, maybe," or just
Yeah.
they said you should pay attention to
Pay attention to our Twitter.
pay
feed
attention
or,
to our Twitter account because
That is some bullshit.
Well, Chair is working with J.J. Abrams, I believe.
I think so,
on this
Yeah.
project. It's called Spyjinx.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
I'm sure it
I'm
could be
excited.
great. I'm glad you're fucking excited. Some of us here like games inspired by Castlevania Symphony of the Night and Super Metroid.
wait, I think I'm getting all of these Epic games confused.
Shadow Complex
What
is
is the
really
what
great.
is the class-based game that was just recently announced?
Overwatch?
Oh, was that Overwatch? Okay, I'm getting Overwatch. So what is Spyjinx? Have they shown anything with Spyjinx?
Wait, what's Overwatch?
Chair also
Overwatch
announced...
is the Blizzard game.
No, Chair...
No.
Epic.
Epic announced a class-based shooter, right?
It starts with an
Yeah.
S.
Yeah, but no one cares about that. Like a free-to-play
Okay.
MOBA type
I was
shooter.
thinking that was this.
No, this is Spyjinx. This is Chair working with J.J. Abrams, but it's not Shadow Complex 2. That's the key part
Paragon?
of the story.
No, what's it?
Paragon.
Yeah,
I think,
Paragon
something
is
like
that.
There
Epic
we
Games
go.
one. That's why I think that's why I was confused. too.
I caught on to this
Paragon.
was not
Yeah.
Shadow Complex 2 as being the key of
Correct.
the story.
Yes, Shadow Complex 2 does not exist because Chair fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And hopefully this is cool, but it's not Shadow Complex 2 because Chair fucking sucks.
Yep.
All right. Crispy,
Yeah.
you
All
got
right.
something for us?
I do. I'm just waiting for the graphic to change.
By the way, those Chair guys, they made fucking Advent Rising, so fuck them.
Oh my god, they made Advent
Yes,
Rising?
those are the Advent Rising people.
Man, that game could have been so cool, except it was buggy as fuck. I don't think we're getting a graphic.
bad. No, that's the wrong one. Get that out of here. I don't remember what my other news topic
God damn
was. What? Brad, just take mine. What was it?
I don't know what it was.
Oh,
No,
the
it was one
PS2
you-
thing.
The PS2 thing, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so Sony's working on getting
Fucking.
PS2 emulation working on the PS4 so you can play
What does this fucking
PS2
mean?
games on PS4.
Software emulation
Yeah.
for
Yay!
PS2 games. It might be kind of like a rollout thing. It might not be kind of a put in whatever PS2 game you want to work. But people have discovered this. Well, I mean, Sony's confirmed it since then. But
Yeah.
because a PS2 game came out recently on PlayStation 4,
Yep.
Star Wars Bounty Hunter, and people found out like this is running in like just a straight up PS2 emulator. So they have one working, and then Sony confirmed that they are working on plans
Bounty
for
Hunter
PS2
is
emulation.
like there's like 4 or like 3 or 4 different
Yeah,
like
but-
PS2 era like Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
games.
also
They
the Jedi Fighter.
they put
or
Jedi
whatever.
Starfighter, Star Wars Racer, Bounty Hunter, and then
Super Star Wars.
This is the worst, guys. I got excited because we're about to do a playthrough of Dragon Quest VIII for the Revival Club. And I was like, oh, sweet, perfect timing. Maybe this will be just in time to play Dragon Quest VIII. And then, Brad, you pointed out something,
Well, I mean,
which is true. This is your opportunity to say it now.
the Dragon Quest on 3DS. What are we talking about?
Well,
The
because of the
emulation?
way, depending on how they end up doing the emulation, this could very easily be rolled out, but limited to based on the approval of the publishers themselves. So,
Much like on the Xbox.
so
Yeah,
if,
same thing
if
with
they
the
have something to
Xbox One.
gain by not putting it out on the emulator, which in this case I think they would because they get more sales in the DS.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is why would they want to have people have the ability to emulate a game they already own instead of wanting them to rebuy it
exactly.
on this newer version?
Which means Dragon Quest VIII is probably
But
not going to be
you
compatible.
know what? Maybe that would have the opposite effect, and it would spur developers to make like HD collections of PS2 era games.
That's
Be like, well, we hadn't thought about the ability for players to play our old games on PS4, but maybe this is a good opportunity for us to
I mean,
res some
honestly,
shit
it
and resell
probably
it.
it probably kind of shuts down like maybe the need to do an HDFI some of the stuff from the PS2 era, which kind of sucks. I mean, the emulator does, kind of upres some stuff and
Smoothing.
does make it look nice.
it's the same thing with like playing PS1 games on the PS3 or whatever.
But PS1 never looks good. But I will say like PS2 on PS3.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
There's
of.
some
yeah,
there's
it,
some
like
improvement.
smooths everything out, and yeah, it runs better. So yeah,
But or like say Wii stuff on the Wii U.
that's true.
But I don't know. I mean, I
You know what I really
don't like software
I
emulation.
think I was talking about
There's
it. I don't know if I was talking
problems.
about it on Twitter. I've been really wanting to go back and finish because I never finished it, so I'd probably start from the beginning and replay Little King Story.
What did you hear that Little King story? They announced it's coming to Steam.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh shit!
Now's your chance, Nolan.
I love that game.
Little
I never
King Story's
finished
coming
it.
to
You know what
Yeah.
else I love?
There's a Little
Our
King Story on
patrons
Vita.
/ community.
Really?
Yeah. Was that a good transition?
Sure.
Yeah, it was all right.
I also enjoy them all the time.
All right.
Time for community.
I think it's time.
For the community.
Thank you, Nolan. That's where you're going to leave me hanging for a second.
It's everyone's favorite part of the show. Because it's about you. That's what it's about.
You and your ears.
Not all of you, but some of you.
Well, yeah, the ones that
Oh, it's
love us.
about everybody.
Do you have the list of patrons, or do you mean the new patrons?
The
or
new
you-
patrons?
Yeah.
We have 2 new patrons.
We do.
Curtis and Jules.
You got both of those names.
I don't have it in front of me.
What is this?
Curtis and Jewel?
I'm trying to. Okay.
What were the
Go.
names?
Julian
Okay,
and
Jules.
Chuck.
I got the J and the C. I'm sorry.
you.
Julian and Chuck, I am sorry. I was not able to get the list of new patrons
Oh,
on
man.
my iPad.
That was
And
good.
So, yeah. But thank you.
That was
we
amazing.
appreciate it. Hey, it's close.
Okay,
It's
we got-
close.
You got the first syllable.
Thank you. Anyone, all of our new patrons get a special thank every time on our show. We go back to the past week and thank you. personally.
So get ready to be thanked.
Yeah, if you're a new patron.
Man, we have a lot of questions this week, and I had them pulled up on our the handy dandy new Patreon app.
Whoa!
I don't have the app yet. I have the questions.
Do you have all 16 of them?
I have ones from Timothy.
Okay, you don't.
Jairus?
Timothy was the last one to ask a question.
Miklopa, Jamie, Gonzo, Lazy, Ryan,
Okay, you don't need to read all
Sonny,
16.
Michael, Sonny again, Angel, Marcus, Arxidus, Brad.
That's me.
4Player Network, and Jamie. Those are the questions.
Brad, are you Brad the Bruiser?
All right. Anyway, first question from should I start with Timothy or end with Timothy?
Timothy was the last one. I'd start with Jamie.
Because it posts them in like reverse order.
Oh well, and on the app it doesn't.
Really? On the website, it has them in reverse. So like the most most recent one's on top, which I think is kind of silly.
Yeah, and on the app, it's the first one we got was from Jamie Bogart Bear.
Okay, well then they need to fix their website. Anyway, first question this week from our patrons comes from Jamie. Why do you guys trade games into GameStop for measly dollars instead of selling them on eBay or something? Who said I trade games in the GameStop? I'm from the UK and can get a much more reasonable price on eBay than trading the game in. Perhaps it's just different in America. Thanks for the podcast.
It's different in America.
It's different in America.
Well, in America, we have more freedom
There
to choose
are
how we
Yeah.
sell our games.
Yeah, freedom.
No, there's definitely a lot of people that sell.
A lot of choices as far as trading. in here.
Craigslist is another really popular place
murdered.
that people get murdered.
I sold some stuff
sell
on
their
Craigslist.
games. That's how I got my PSP. Was
Craigslist.
I bought it from a guy on Craigslist. I think he might have been a junkie. He wanted to talk for a really long time, and that was back when I had a flip phone, and I actually was able to text Bernadette using the fucking. Remember when you could text without looking at your phone?
Yeah.
I was able
Because
to.
there was only 9 keys.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was like, call me. And so just like to get out of it, and then my phone rang. I'm like, oh, I got to take this. Bye.
You almost got murdered.
Yeah, I know, right, dude? It was fucking weird.
I sold my couches a couple days ago on Craigslist, and I feel like the guy I was selling it to was getting it for like the casting couch.
Your couch isn't black.
He was getting it.
Is the casting couch always black?
I thought it was. I don't watch it. Is the casting couch
I feel
a
like
series?
it shouldn't be black. You know what I mean?
kind of
I feel like it shouldn't be black.
Is the casting couch
kind
like a
of
series?
whitish.
See,
You talk about it like
my couch is cream colored. I feel like that's a more appropriate.
It's got spots the color of spoiled milk.
I just thought it was like because it was leather, so it's easy to clean.
Oh god, the casting couch should not be black.
Is there only one casting couch?
Definitely cream colored.
I would hope they
But
would.
his isn't cream. His is like a brown, like a tan.
No, it's cream colored.
Okay, Nick knows this for a fact.
Kind of like a
Oh, I'm
like
talking
a
about my couch.
gummy cream color.
I'm not talking about the casting couch.
It's cream colored and heavily scotch guarded.
So yeah, the question was, why do you trade it in GameStop? Personally, I don't trade in very many games at all. I very rarely.
I really have
trade
to
in
be
my
desperate
games.
or really just dislike a game entirely.
But that's
to
my thing is
trade it in.
I don't buy a game until I know I want to keep it.
A lot of
Is
times-
he asking us, or is he asking just like, why do you Americans?
No, I think
do
he's
that?
asking us.
He's asking.
I think he's heard us. Like I specifically traded in some games for Fallout. So eBay requires like work and effort and maybe an account that is like been doing it for a while.
I've never been murdered at GameStop.
It is a little bit.
But I have
on
been
eBay.
murdered once or twice on Craigslist.
Because you might not be able to get the price you want because people are going to see a first-time seller or a
Yeah.
seller that hasn't sold a whole lot.
Yeah.
And they have to go to the post office, and American post offices suck.
They are pretty bad.
They don't
What about
run
your
quite as
post
well as the
offices?
Queens.
I'm sorry, that's pretty funny.
What?
Never mind.
Okay.
Black couches.
Black couch is mad.
Oh wow.
Oh god.
You know,
Topical humor.
You know what I said to Bernadette the other day? Because we saw a commercial for FarmersOnly.com.
Oh god. I saw that commercial
Those are the
too.
worst, right? And you know what? We should create a dating website that's called Black Love Matters.
Oh my god.
'Cause they have also like
Stepping
There's-
away from this.
What was the
away.
question again?
Why do you not trade why do you trade games in a GameStop, Brad? Why do you?
Instead of selling them
do it very
online.
rarely. I don't even buy games that often.
it's just easier for you than selling it on eBay.
Yeah, I mean that's the main reason.
Nobody wants to take the time to let people bid on shit.
But what What were we talking about?
God damn it, Brad. All right, next question.
Next question.
Next question from Brad the Boozer. Do you guys have any guilty pleasure games?
That's what I want to know.
Well, we used to actually do guilty
Yeah.
pleasure as part of the 4-player minute.
I really like.
a long time ago.
Yeah, we did.
I really like Tales of the Borderlands.
Why is that a guilty pleasure, though? You feel guilty about that? Because it's so low stakes?
I want to fucking fight you.
How about have y'all ever heard of a game called Singularity?
That's not a
I'm
guilty
joking.
pleasure
That was
either.
my joke,
What is
Brad.
your obscure definition of a guilty
Binding
pleasure?
of Isaac.
A guilty
mine.
pleasure would maybe be a game that you recognize is really maybe not that great, but you love it anyway. Like, for example, one that maybe you'd have second thoughts before. A game you love, but maybe you'd have second thoughts before you recommend to, like, most
So
people.
we had this exact same fucking conversation when we were on our camping trip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where I don't really
Destiny.
There you go. That's
that's
a
what I
guilty
figured.
pleasure.
Guilty pleasure game. I play a lot of it. I play Destiny, and I don't care who knows.
Nailed it, Crispy.
How about that fucking DC Universe game you kept going back to?
I didn't keep going.
You
back.
sick
I went
fuck.
back once.
Most
and it was
MMOs.
a really rough night, and I was feeling very vulnerable. And DC Heroes Online was there for me.
Chaos Mud was a fucking guilty fucking pleasure.
You know what? You know what I feel guilty about now after years of just being berated by Brad? Alan Wake.
That is a guilty pleasure.
What?
I'll accept that.
What are you talking about? Go fuck yourself,
Do I
Brad.
have any guilty pleasures?
I mean, sure you do. Senran Kagura. I don't know. That you
Satellite.
you made a case for
What was
actually
the-
liking that game.
I
What's
played.
the Kojima game? The Space Police one.
Oh,
Police Knots.
Police Knots. Yeah.
Wait, that game's
that
pretty
game's
well
actually
respected.
pretty good though.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It's fucking pervy and shit, but it's actually there's a good story, and it's actually kind of fun.
It's Lethal Weapon in space.
Yeah, it's Lethal Weapon in space. That's what it
Whoa.
is.
That's all you had to say.
Wait, did you not really know? I thought we talked about that. That they are completely Murdoch and not Murdoch.
Riggs.
Riggs
Oh yeah,
and,
you
and
just
Murtaugh.
said like the
They
one,
are exactly
the one
Riggs
guy's
and
like,
Murtaugh.
I'm getting too old for this.
No,
shit.
it's an old black guy and a young white guy with a mullet, and they are like cop bros
Oh my
together.
god. Prince of the Universe needs to calm down. I was making a joke. Alan Wake is on my top 10 games of all time.
Is
You
it,
should know that by now.
Not that high though.
But Brad, in terms of like Senran
It's like number
Kagura,
4,
I
number
played it
3.
because it was fun to play on the feed. Like I haven't played it since. That's what I'm saying. I don't think I have really any that I would be ashamed to say I play.
I'd say well,
Yandere Simulator.
I would say maybe the Tells games for me at this point, because there really is some like reprehensible shit in those games. Mostly the outfits.
You know what? I've always felt a little guilty about how much I actually enjoyed Devil May Cry 2.
Fashion.
Yeah, that's a guilty pleasure.
Like, it's not my favorite by any stretch of the imagination, but I did play it, and I didn't even reflect on it and realize that it was nowhere near as good as the first one until way after I had finished it.
The way you talk about that game really makes me think that you thought Devil May Cry 2 was awesome until someone told you maybe you shouldn't think that's awesome.
That might actually be. I mean, not only did I play through Devil
Which
May
is
Cry
fine.
2, I went back and played Devil May Cry 2 immediately after
The
I can't-
stupid girl that no one remembers. I mean, yeah,
I
sure.
forgot her name.
A lot of people did. We were all searching for quality.
Hunting
I'm
for
trying to think
quality.
of a guilty pleasure.
Digging
Just
for
have
gold.
impeccable taste. That's all.
It's not that I have impeccable taste. It's just
I just don't feel guilty about the shit that I play. How's
yeah.
that?
I think that's one of the things. It's like I'm not gonna fucking.
Is,
I don't
I
have
mean,
to answer. To
I
you.
don't
you
need
think
to
of a game that
apologize
you really
to
like
me.
that you would maybe be hesitant on recommending to most people?
Is Undertale a guilty
But you
pleasure
just
at
gotta
this
think
point?
about it. I'm sure.
That I'm trying to think about it. I can't think of a game that I played that I wouldn't recommend to
You know,
other people.
I always bring up 007 Bloodstone,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's probably I do actively recommend. I
I-
really enjoyed that game.
I would probably never play that.
You recommend that to me?
See, I'm hesitating right
Why-
now. This is
why?
me hesitating.
Why?
Dude, what-
Because it's hot
Because
garbage?
I have a feeling
Just say
you-
it.
One
Just
of
say
the-
it's hot garbage.
One of the first times I ever asked Nick for a recommendation
Lucia,
on a game
thank you.
to play, he said Bloodstone.
Yeah,
Like,
I should. That's
before
also.
I even really knew Nick,
Did you play
he was
it?
like, you should play Blood. And I was like, no. No, I didn't.
Yeah, that's true. I did do that.
Symphony of the Night's a guilty pleasure for me because clearly, I'm hesitant to recommend it to people from now on.
The fuck is your problem, bro?
All right, next
So
question.
someone mentioned like roguelikes, and yeah, like I do play a shit ton of like fucking Binding of Isaac and Crypt of the Necrodancer.
There's
but I'm not.
love, though.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think any of those are bad games that I wouldn't recommend to anyone to play. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. A question from Arxidus. If all sitcoms, soap operas, and reality shows were to be eradicated from existence, which 3 would you save for humanity's viewing pleasure?
Which,
I-
3 TV.
So-
I don't
Wait,
think I have
what are they
enough
again?
history.
Sitcom, soap operas, reality shows, whatever.
I don't think I have
It
enough
sounds
history
like-
with any of those genres to be
You've
at all.
never watched a situational comedy.
Define situational comedy.
Friends.
People laugh
I have seen.
fucking-
in the audience.
Yeah.
People in the audience laugh.
I bet
fucking
you
How I
anything.
Met Your Mother.
Any of those shows that you would name.
Seinfeld.
Any of those shows you would name, I guarantee you, I've seen a handful of episodes, never back to back, over the course of years. So I could not accurately.
Cheers.
Arrested Development.
Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Mr. Show. And ooh, I just had it. Where did it go?
No one's saving any.
X-Files.
Chris Davis, you just
Those
listed a
3
bunch of
shows.
dramas.
Yeah, you can't list the X-Files. I don't think that's what he's asking.
That's a
He
drama.
said he didn't say
No,
drama.
sitcoms?
Sitcoms, soap operas, and reality TV shows.
Why is this
Because
question
dramas-
so oddly specific?
Because dramas are fucking amazing, and those stand the test of time.
I think the suggestion
Whereas
is
situational
That's-
comedies are very time specific.
bold statement.
I would never like. The thing is, none of those genres are genres that really have ever appealed to me on any real strong level.
I think
so.
a suggestion is what's the best of the
Reality
disposable
TV show?
stuff.
The first season of The Mole.
How about
that
Married?
show was incredible.
How about Married with Children?
That's a sitcom.
The first season of Celebrity Mole with Hanging with Mr.
I don't
Cooper.
That was
I don't know what
less
any of those
incredible.
are.
Rudy was on it, and he said Rudy got booty.
Malcolm in the Middle counts, Naluffy.
Rudy got booted.
I actually just recently went back and watched Malcolm in the
In its
I thought that
entirety?
was a good show.
Pretty much.
But
Like,
is Malcolm in the Middle
dude,
a sitcom? I guess it is.
Yes, it is. I just throw it on Netflix when I'm doing things around the house, like when I'm making dinner or something like that. I just
Real World Road
throw it on in the
Rules,
background.
Fresh Meat 2.
What the fuck is that a thing?
Yes, that's the thing.
I also despise reality
Breaking Bad's
TV
not a
with a
sitcom.
fiery passion.
Burn
So
Notice is not a sitcom. Those
I
are
would-
like
Burn Notice is hilarious. I love Burn Notice.
it is funny.
I would-
that main actress is supposed to be like. Anyway, no,
I would
no, no,
purge
no, no.
reality TV from existence in its entirety.
Scrubs. I would say Scrubs.
Yeah, sure.
I really enjoyed Scrubs. Arrested Development, yes.
Arrested
I don't
Development
know.
has to
I don't
be.
Hey
really
guys,
watch.
this question was pick 3. We've named like everything we
Each
could think
person
of.
is supposed
Just
to pick
pick 3
them.
out of all those
I don't
ones we
watch
named.
reality shows, so I don't know, or soap operas, so I don't know. I'd have to
Seinfeld.
think. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is my third one.
That's a good one. I would go. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air might be the one that I've probably seen the most of.
All right, next question from Marcus Tipton. You are leading 100 people in a survivalist situation that includes your family. So just my family?
Freaks and geeks.
No, include your family.
Well, then that's more than 100 people.
I think he's talking about your immediate family.
Oh, okay. When suddenly your lives are in danger and you have to choose, you have 2 choices. One would cause 10 to die and everyone else would live, and the other would have a 70% chance of saving everyone, but everyone dies if it fails.
Dude,
This is
70% chance. I mean,
This
the
is
fact
a-
that everyone's still alive anyway is a miracle, right? I mean, in fact,
Wait,
I'd probably just recommend that
only
everybody
10 people
kill
die?
themselves.
It's
So
just-
either 10 people die,
for a
or
or
short
you
chance.
risk everyone dying.
or you risk everyone dying with a 70% chance that
You can,
everyone.
you can
Wait,
take
wait,
you can
what-
take the
what's the-
surefire 90% chance by sacrificing 10%, or
90% of what though? Wait, what is the?
There's
the
100
people.
people,
There's 100
Brad.
people.
There's 100 people
Okay.
alive right now. You have 2 choices. One is 10 definitely die, or 2, you have a 70% chance of saving everyone and a 30% chance of killing everyone.
dude, that's pretty good. End of the world, 70% chance. That's good.
but
Do I get
If
to
you're
live?
if you're living in the
I'd
post-apocalyptic
sacrifice
future,
10 people.
Are these
because
the last 100 people?
I would imagine waking up
Just in this
drops
wherever
your
you
chance
are.
of survival by like 50% every day.
I would kill 10 absolutely
Yeah,
because
10.
if it fucks up
No.
and you lose everyone, you
Oh,
are
and then
by.
everyone dies and doesn't get to enjoy the end of the world? Yeah, great.
He never said anything about the end of the world.
He
did
said post-apocalyptic
No, he
survivor
didn't.
situation.
He just said survival. Survive a situation.
I don't fucking care. 70% chance. Roll the dice. I've got high luck.
That's not how life
I mean,
works.
for me, it just depends on the
dice.
scenario.
But
if it's like I have to make a fucking basket from like 30 feet away, like a fucking playing horse or some shit. No, you know what I'm saying? It depends. Like 70% chance of what? You know what I'm saying? Like that fucking the crops grow. You know, I don't. I think I need more. Because I personally I would want to go with
So
the.
you got these 100 people.
Do I
locked,
get to choose what 10 people die?
locked inside the last standing Taco
don't know.
Bell?
We don't know.
Hey, put it this way: with the first choice,
people into Taco Bell.
with the first choice, I get to kill 10 people.
I don't think it's so much you kill them; it's so much they die.
Yeah,
I'm
way
doing this 'cause I love
to show your creepy side, Brad.
I don't know. I'm maybe 70%.
All right, next question.
From Angel. We see video games crossovers all the time, especially in fighting games or RPGs such as Street Fighter X Tekken,
Cross
Cross
Tekken.
Tekken, Smash Brothers Project Cross Zone,
I don't even
Project
know what
X Zone,
Yeah, got your cross on.
and Fire Emblem Cross SMT.
That one doesn't count. Have you seen anything about that game? There is no Fire Emblem, no Shin Megami Tensei.
Oh,
there.
Shin Megami Tensei. Which series or genres do you think would benefit most from having a crossover with a game from the same genre or a much more different genre?
So which so basically, which crossover would benefit the most? What if Resident Evil did a crossover with Dino Crisis and dinosaurs just started ripping zombies apart in space?
Okay, I'm thinking that
No?
Shepard
No?
and Garrus and like I don't know, Tali get on a ship and they're flying around in Mass Effect and then they fall through a wormhole and end up in Dragon Age. That would be cool, right?
So Mass Effect Cross Dragon Age.
Yeah.
No.
That'd be kind of cool. They'd have guns and everyone would be like, "What is that strange device you use to murder people?" And then they're just like,
Oh,
"Shut the fuck up.
I
Come
actually
up with
like
something better."
I got
Nullifies
one better.
answer of DMC crossover with Bayonetta. That'd be pretty.
I want XCOM Enemy Unknown, but give it like let's try XCOM Enemy Unknown in like the Game of Thrones universe.
It's like fantasy universe
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah.
That'd be
And don't say
interesting.
Massive Chalice because that's really not that. I want literally XCOM Enemy Unknown, but with like Game of Thrones fantasy, baby. Yeah. Though it doesn't really count because they're not both video games.
What if From Software crossed Dark Souls with Armored Core?
What?
What?
Final Fantasy Tactics cross Front Mission, just so I can have them both again.
I don't know. I don't have anything for this question.
Really, this is like a dream question.
God damn it, Nick.
I
You're
don't
the
know.
worst.
Crossovers.
I'm supposed to be on my way home when this thing goes off.
Ooh, Castlevania cross Dark Souls.
Ooh.
Well, then we need to stop going off on tangents. Next
Hey,
question
by the way, all the tangents have not been me.
from Sunny. What is the most borderline?
Oh. Yeah.
You gotta read it now.
Nope. Next question. Jesus Christ.
Michael M has Terminator 1 or 2.
Hey, Terminator 2.
Why is
Yeah,
Terminator
2.
3 not an option?
Terminator 1
Because
is a
the
much,
options are Terminator 1 or 2.
Terminator 1's a better
Well,
more-
2.
Yeah, 2.
Terminator 1 is a better, more suspenseful like sci-fi movie. Terminator 2 is a really good action movie.
I agree.
That's
They're
awesome. That is
different
Hey, which one do you
styles.
prefer?
I don't know. I have moods.
Okay. No,
Right now,
what
what
was
is
the
your
last
current
question?
mood?
I would rather right now. I'd probably rather watch the first one.
What was the last question?
You can read it right there, Brad.
What is the borderline? What is the most borderline homosexual experience you've ever had? Keep it tasteful, people.
I
Are you answering that?
no.
I mean, I've just not had a homosexual experience.
I hugged my bros a
So
couple times.
That is not.
That is
I mean,
weird.
That is not an answer to his question.
He said
That's
look
like-
the closest.
That's not close.
Did you kind of grind each other's dicks together? Because then that maybe, yeah.
Hey man, y'all got an answer?
It got kind of weird with David sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Any experience when you were alone with David, or even on the stream with David? Sometimes, and I don't think he just did it just to be funny. but he would take it places.
Romantic places.
Nice candlelit places.
All right.
God damn it.
Next question from
Next question.
Should I ask this other question from Sonny?
No, he got one already.
Okay. From Ryan Does Art. What dead franchise would you like to be given the Platinum Games treatment?
Have we not?
Prey 2.
What is the play? Default to Prey 2.
Just what you want Platinum Games to kind of like either reinvent or take over. What games is...
Oh, I already had an answer to this one, and it was some Star Wars franchise, preferably The Force Unleashed. Just make
Yeah, I mean, that'd be
just
the
make
best.
it like Metal Gear.
That would be
Rising.
the best fit.
Is it specifically Platinum Games?
Yes. It says the Platinum Games treatment.
Oh, of kind of like fixing something, bringing it back and fixing it, or
Maybe.
whatever.
Like they did with Metal Gear. Well, Metal Gear right. Well, I don't know.
Shut up.
They didn't
Chris
bring up a
Davis.
dead
What
franchise.
are you talking about? That doesn't even make sense.
Chris Davis just said Platinum Games presents Parasite Eve.
Parasite Eve does not need to be anything different
is-
than the other 3 games that are completely different from each other.
That is a bizarre choice.
Like crazy. You know, Platinum Games. You know,
Fucking Onimusha, man.
yeah. I mean that's kind of weird because there are some similar DNA there. Anyways, because a lot of those guys were former Capcom.
Yeah.
All right, guys, it's getting late. We got to make it snappy.
All
I
right.
might even skip a couple of these questions.
That's fine.
But
we
skip
can
your
always
question.
we can get to some of them next
Let's
week.
get Platinum Games a
re-ask
crack
it
at
next week.
Castlevania.
Castlevania is your answer for everything.
And if you can't get Platinum Games, just get.
Someone needs to.
Damn it! What the fuck? Never mind.
So next question from Jamie. Do you play shorter games alongside... oh, wait. Jamie already got a question. Jamie, ask this question next week.
Zelda.
From McLopa. Do you think Brad's unhealthy obsession with sleep paralysis will eventually cause him to have it?
Yes.
Or no?
Stop talking
Yes.
about it, please. Can we move on?
I think he will psychosomatically give himself sleep
But
paralysis.
isn't that how it happens?
I don't know.
Let's
Nobody
move
I
on.
thought it was aliens or dark people from other dimensions.
All right, and
It's not
that's all
that.
the questions for this week.
You don't know any of this. Anything.
I don't know
Uh,
anything about sleep paralysis.
If we didn't get to your question, feel free to ask it next week.
There were a lot of questions this week,
Yeah, there
but
was
feel
a
free
lot.
to
We're
ask them
also
again
kinda-
or ask a different
Kind of
question
running
next
long
week.
on the show. Once again, it is November. Yes.
Yes.
And so our supporter of the month is Dave the Zombie. The game he chose for us to play this month is Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward.
Yes.
Brad's been playing that. I want to. Apparently, I didn't get it when it was on sale or when it was free on PSN. Apparently, I missed it, unfortunately. I would like to try and get to it this month, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Brad says it's pretty good.
On this very podcast, he said it was pretty good.
If you would like to be our supporter of the month, just support us with money.
Financially.
Yeah. So either a subscriber on Twitch or back us on Patreon. Become a patron. It's patreon.com/4Player. You'll get some exclusive content, the chance to get some shit.
Newsletters, videos, let's plays.
Yeah,
Shit like that.
that stuff.
Good stuff.
And I think that's it for the community this week.
Yeah, I think it's time for our 4-player minute, which we're going to do something a little different this week because it's Thanksgiving. So we're going to say 4 thank yous. I hope you guys are ready to say thanks for stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, Brad does not seem prepared to give that much thanks.
Thankful. Are we starting? Is this
Yeah,
it?
this is it.
That's
All right. I'm thankful to Hideki Kamiya. I don't know why he's asking on Twitter what Capcom game or what game that either Clover or Platinum Games has worked on in the past, that what sequel basically you would like him to work on, like Beautiful Joe, Okami. Those were both choices. I voted for Okami, like most of you should have. I don't know why he's asking. He's working on Scalebound, but that's kind of exciting because he's made great games, and maybe he's trying to figure out where he should go next. My other thank is thank you, Undertale, for being the game of the year, and all your wonderful fans who suggested it to me.
Did you just say game of the year?
I haven't finished it yet. I'm also thankful for all our lovely viewers and chatters who show up even when not much is going on, even though when they really don't want to watch Tomb Raider, they still show up to talk about something. But I'm almost done with Tomb Raider, so good news for you guys. And I'm thankful to all the lovely people who recommend. Thank you, Dave the Zombie, for choosing a cool game like Virtue's Last Reward, which I'm going to extend my recommendation to Crispy. He was glazing over a little bit in my explanation, but I think he would actually really like that game because
I think I would too.
I think about Crispy sometimes when I'm playing, and I bet he would probably really get off on this because he's weird.
I think about you too and wonder what gets you off.
But in a good way, Crispy. But in a good way.
That's horrible.
I think you would appreciate it.
I think I would too. I want to play after listening.
Because you like time travel stories. I'm not saying this is time travel.
Remember when my ears perked up when you were like, time travel, or like quantum, whatever. Just continue.
Can you bring your mic in a little closer, Crispy? There we go.
There
Thank
you go.
Thank you.
Now you got
Was that all of his thank yous?
Yeah.
You done? Oh, okay. So my 4-player minute. My thanks for this week. I am thankful for you guys. It's lots
Like
of
us?
fun. Yeah, you guys.
Sounds like you pulled this one out of your ass.
I have it written down. You guys.
You guys.
Yeah, I actually wrote you guys on my phone.
Just playing video games with each other. I mean, I've been having a lot of fun with the Triforce Heroes
Yeah.
before the show.
Yeah.
And various other things, and it's nice to talk about games. And lately, we've been doing more with each other outside the podcast, and that's been fun. Also, like board games. I'm glad we started playing those because I love those.
We need to do another one of those soon.
Yeah.
Oh, what should I play for the Thanksgiving when I'm with my family?
Play naughty things. What was that? What?
I don't know what
Nasty
that game's
Bits.
called. I don't have that here.
Come on, Grandma, we're gonna play Nasty Bits.
We were like
Get ready for nasty bits.
we were playing like Bang the other day with some friends, Bernadette's friends, and they were talking about the story, like playing like when playing with her family. And she's like, "Oh, you banged your brother." And I was like, "Oh, because you like bang people in the game, like guns, like shoot them, like bang."
Oh.
Bang.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'm also thankful for the Last of Us crew, the factions crew. We actually played some this weekend for a couple hours. Jaeger and MGS, you weren't around. Wayward.
I'm offended.
You were in Houston, I thought.
Who
I say I
else?
was in Houston?
Wayward Warrior. Who else? Just everyone except for Chai. Fuck that guy. He won't ever play with us.
Hey, there are no
lately.
fuck yous this week. This is thanks
no,
only.
I'm saying thanks to the people who aren't them. Because lately he hasn't been playing with us.
Thank you to all the companies that aren't Konami.
That's pretty
And
good.
it's we miss him.
Tremendously.
Yeah. And he's a jerk. What?
But not me.
Well, you weren't
You
around.
don't miss me. You didn't miss that I wasn't there.
You've played like 3 times. And I mean like 3 games of factions.
No, Crispy's actually played a lot with us.
I think his eyes almost popped out of his head when you said that.
I've never played factions.
Yeah, dick.
Not once.
My other thank goes to the community. You guys bring a lot of games to my attention that I'm not aware about, and give me recommendations and let me know about shit. Like especially when I have like questions. Thankfully, most of the time when I'm broadcasting, people aren't dicks. Most of the time, and help me out and stuff, and I appreciate that because it makes my life a whole lot easier. And my last thank goes to all of our Patreons.
What's a Patreon?
Yeah, our
We have
patrons.
multiple Patreons.
Yeah, our patrons. Especially now that we have that hip chat going. If for those that don't know, if anyone's in the Patreon tier of
Oh, I mean, I guess there's at least one more person I got to send an invite for. 'Cause
10
we have a new $10
what is it,
patron.
5, 10 and above?
10 and above.
10 and above. We have a hip chat room where everyone can just go in and hang out and chat with each other.
Y'all could be sending me messages during the show
And yeah, no, well, no.
that I
mean,
won't
you
be
can,
reading
but we
because
won't
I'm
read
on the
them.
show. But you could be sending them to me.
And it's really the one thing is I should be unthankful to myself because sometimes I'll chat with people and I won't even look at the name of who I'm chatting with, and it's really bad. But we have delightful conversations about video games and opinions and stuff. Yeah, no, we don't do dick pics.
Everyone assumes. that there are dick pics in there, but there's really not.
Yeah.
I would like more pics in general. They don't have to be dicks.
Gifts, lots of funny gifts happen.
They don't have to be dicks.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Nolan.
Not my family, though. Not thankful for them.
Crispy.
Joke.
I'm thankful for everybody here. You guys in this room, Chris Davis out there at his computer, you people in chat, you people listening to this after the fact on YouTube.
Hey, whoa,
or
whoa, whoa,
iTunes.
whoa.
Everyone who can hear my voice. I'm thankful for you guys. I love 4Player. I love you guys. This community is great. I'm thankful. I'm thankful.
But
I'm also thankful that there's a new Star Wars movie coming out this year, and it actually looks pretty
Guys,
good.
it's less than a month.
Oh my god, it's on the 18th.
It's less than a month?
It's like,
It's on the 18th.
It's like 3 weeks.
And we're in like the 24th.
my body is ready.
I know. I am so thankful for more Star Wars. Amazing.
You know, I know there's going to be that moment that's going to come, and I'm going to be sitting in the theater waiting for it to start, and I'm going to have that realization and be
This
like,
is it.
this might suck.
This is it. This is the the rest of your life will be measured from whether or not that movie was good or bad.
Kind of skewing off of that. Can I say that I'm thankful that the Hunger Games series is over?
I bet.
I bet it's been an endeavor
I
in your
bet
house.
you are.
Oh my god.
Endeavor
I-
household.
Oh my
I'm
god.
also
Bernadette's already seen it like 4 times.
Really?
Yes.
Is it good?
It's all right.
She sees all of them.
She saw the last one like 11 times in
Just to
theaters.
be sure.
I can't remember. I mean,
Dude, I've never seen a movie like 3 times in theaters.
I'm just trying to think of the last time I cared about something that much.
I've never cared about anything that much,
That's probably pretty close to my Dexter.
if not more.
I'm
not more.
thankful that Mystery Science Theater 3000's coming back.
If Bernadette's listening, I do love her.
That's my next thank you. That one of my favorite television shows of all time is coming.
Dude, right?
back.
Excited
I
about
am
Felicia
Right?
Day.
So excited.
Felicia Day is hit and miss for me.
I don't know. And I'm also thankful for humans' capacity for emotion, because that is what allows me to have hype over something like No Man's Sky.
Oh, I thought you were talking
And
about
I'm
Undertale.
thankful for that. I'm thankful for my hype for No Man's Sky. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Crispy. That's my first thank you. My second thank you.
Nice.
Thank you
I
goes
got my
to
own thank you.
goes to Netflix. Thank you, Netflix, for partnering with Marvel and producing
They've been putting out some good shit.
pretty stellar lineup. I'm pretty excited. You're even managing to get me excited about characters that I know nothing about and that I probably would never even know existed if it weren't for you. So thank you. I am thankful for you, Netflix. I am also thankful to all of our patrons. We've been getting quite a bit new ones lately, and that's very, very exciting and humbling, and that's very cool.
It is.
You've
Until we get that
allowed
cosplay
us to
goal.
you have allowed us to stay afloat and continue doing this and to continually improve the things that we do. It's great. Thank you. My third thank you is going to go to someone who I can only address as E,
Brad.
because she signed her email E. She sent me a very. I'm mostly being thankful for taking the time to send me a pretty lengthy email explaining why she thinks I should play Life is Strange.
Whoa, what if it was Emily?
Oh.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's not my Emily, because maybe her name is Emily. I don't know, but she's
Pretty sure Emily spells her name with an I.
Oh my god, at the end of Life is Strange, a girl named Emily dumps a dude named Nick.
What?
Whoa!
Spoiler alert.
That's horrible.
Are you serious? Did you make that up?
Yes.
Don't say if that's real.
Okay, I can't tell you.
I'm pretty sure in the Latin alphabet,
Anyway,
This is the,
Emily
the,
begins
I'm
with
just
an I.
saying-
longest way.
I'm just saying, thank you for the very long personal email about Life is Strange and the recommendation. I will be taking it into account and hopefully trying to squeeze it in before the end of the year. So thank you. And my last thank you is going to go kind of piggybacking off what Crispy said, but I'm going to take it one step further and say thank you, Disney.
Whoa.
Thank you, Disney.
You know they are the evil empire.
Whatever, man. Thanks for making sweet theme parks, great music,
Dude.
and fucking
What
taking
did they
Star
do
Wars.
to you at Disney World? Did they just like fucking cut open your skull and like brand a little Mickey Mouse on your
Hand
frontal
jobs.
lobe?
Hand jobs.
Mickey Mouse ain't with those
It's
big
like-
fucking gloves.
It's like in
the
Future-
big Mickey Mouse gloves.
It's like in Futurama where that one season Hermes turned up and he had a fucking brain slug,
Yeah.
and like the whole season he's just trying to get everyone to put brain slugs on their heads.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm saying thank you, Disney, for taking Star Wars, which is something that I had completely abandoned, lost hope for. I used to be the biggest fucking Star Wars fan in the world.
You guys are being way too thankful way too early. Be careful, man.
true.
Hey,
It's
man,
true.
this is
Like I hope if this movie is not fantastic that it's a disaster.
We're still
because
young
if
and
this thing
reckless,
is like
Brad.
if this thing is like fucking mediocre, if
We
this
lead
thing is
with our
like
hearts.
what was that second Star Trek movie?
Into Darkness.
Like if Star Wars is like that, that's going to be so much more tragic.
Dude, that movie wasn't mediocre though. That movie was dog shit.
But okay, I'm saying like
I wouldn't say dog shit.
That movie was horrible.
Chris-
Maybe like
I am
deer-
not open to any
maybe
other opinions
deer
on this
shit.
matter.
It was
the
like
point is
deer
no one's
shit.
fucking talking about it
It wasn't
anymore.
like dog shit. It was
It
like
was
deer
not
shit.
clean pellety deer shit. It was messy diarrhea dog shit.
Hey, Crispy. I still think it was better than fucking the three
Okay,
Star Wars prequels.
Fucking like Spectre or
Well,
something.
that's fine. Those movies, we don't. Those were an abomination.
They were an abomination.
What's the most mediocre movie that you just
I
put
watched.
into your mind?
Okay, just this is kind of
I
a
just
side
completely
story.
forgot I saw
Just
it.
real quick, I saw
Jurassic
there was a
World.
video. So
Yeah.
so the crew doing Star Wars is partnered with they do like a charity.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Raising money for cancer research and
Kids.
things. Yeah. And they did a video, like a promotional video. They had Harrison Ford, and he
Yeah.
was basically they were calling people who were they were on like webcams and stuff and talking to them about being Star Wars fans and thanking them for donating or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were surprising them with Harrison Ford coming in or whatever. And they had Harrison Ford do those things like he walked in with a Harrison Ford mask on. They're like, or a Han Solo mask. Like, oh, it's Han Solo. And he took it off and it's Harrison Ford. Like, oh my God, it's Harrison Ford. But there was one person like before Harrison Ford walked out, they said, what's your favorite Star Wars character? And Harrison Ford walked out with his Han Solo mask on, and she goes, my favorite character is Padme.
Oh God.
Harrison Ford just took his mask off and was like, who's your favorite character? It was,
Wait,
That's
whose
fucking
favorite
hilarious.
character?
whose favorite character is
Padme.
Padme?
But she wore so many pretty dresses.
Oh my God.
It was Natalie Portman.
Oh
Hey,
my God, I almost threw up in my mouth.
I'm thankful this podcast is over.
I guess, yeah, me too.
Can I give one kind of not like kind of a fuck you maybe to like Texas?
Thank you, every state.
Dude, I
that's
got a
not
jury
Texas.
summons from Houston.
Again?
I haven't lived in Houston in 8 years.
Wait, again?
Is this a different jury summons?
Yeah, it's for a different fucking county.
Wait, was this in addition to the one you just had a week ago? Like a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago?
Dude,
If
you
you get
don't
someone
have
for
to go
jury
to that.
duty, you can't get someone for 2 years.
You don't have to go.
Dude,
for
I've
that.
never been someone for jury duty once in my life, and you got two in like a
Dude,
month.
I know how fucking jury duty works. If you don't show up, they have to send the sheriff himself after you. He's not gonna come to us.
Oh, I
and
guess
collect you.
I think the battery in the camera just died.
The sheriff is in.
We gotta go. Thanks for.
Goodbye. I'm thankful the podcast is over. That would have been a great place to end it.
Fuck you,
been
Brad.
That'd been
Bye.
great.
This is supposed to be Thanksgiving.
Thanks, everyone, not Brad.
Yeah.